Wait. Konnichiwa! Hello, the chat still looks like that. I wanted to see if I could do some other shit to fix it. But, too bad. It's not gonna look like that. It's just gonna be broken, okay? It just wants to be broken. Anyway, hi Mary, hi Dallas. I swear to God, Mary. You could literally kick Mary in the shin and they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry, is your toe hurt? I swear to God, Mary. Are you apologizing for not coming to me? As if I held Mary at gunpoint. It was like, you have to be at every one of my streams for the entire stream. What are you doing, Mary? Anyways. Audio is all different because if you were at my Monster Hunter stream, you know that I broke everything. I broke everything on OBS. I broke literally everything on OBS and I had to uninstall it and reinstall it. And so now my audio is different. Let me know if the game audio is too loud or too quiet. I don't know. The music's pretty low. I don't know. The thing got you demonetized for last... It's the thing that got you demonetized for the video last time was this old ass song. You want to turn down the music before the credits. It's fine. Don't worry. The music copyright claims, what was I saying? The copyright claims, they demonetize the video, but I don't actually make money from videos that way. So, like, I don't actually make money from videos via ads or YouTube Premium, which is what it's demonetizing. The only thing, like, I only make money from super chats and memberships, which you should join, or coffee donations, and none of those things get blocked by demonetization. So, while I don't mind it, this is the last stream anyway, so we'll just go with the music anyways. Although I did tell Maxi, I did DM Maxi like, hey. So I think Maxi might, if they do stream it, which they should, and I will bug them about it until they do. I might get them to like replace the music with something. But here we go. We're gonna continue. Where are we at? Okay, so what's going on? What's happening? We're at age 19. It's the start of E19. I forgot that you can actually use WASD to walk around in this. That feels like I should have been doing that this whole time. I just had my hands on WASD just on instinct. Hi. Okay. What am I at? It's 69. Nice. Physical skill increases. Pumped 19 and something interesting is going on with Tav in the labs. You're right! Go say hi to Tang. Tang's going through it. Hi Tang. Whoops. Hello. I think I've come to truly love this planet, Tang says, looking at the sky. Certainly it's at times uncomfortable or even dangerous, but she smiles faintly. I have such wonderful visions of what it could become. Tang, I'm worried that you're going... I have worries that Tang is going to try and take over Vatumna. Maybe she will. I have +1 to physical increases. I want to get my toughness up. Is there a way to get toughness up that isn't fucking going in? Toughness might be in G-Ponics. I also want to get bravery up. My stress isn't great. How do I get toughness up? That's 3 toughness. Animals empathy. That's 2 toughness. And biology. Alright. We'll consider. But we're gonna hang out in the labs. Something interesting going on. Also, does Maz have anything to say? No, she doesn't. Okay, labs. Hello. Okay. I do love robots. Ribbits. Do you love a ribbit? Reasoning and empathy. Engineering. What did I get for the new gadgets? Extra card. Right, engineering. I wouldn't mind getting my engineering up higher. Biology and empathy. Empathy might be good to get up. Engineering and creativity. Reasoning, empathy. I want to do something that's with tangent, I think. Let's assist a med bay. Let's try that. You're in engineering very late today. You're starting to nod off and consider packing up for the night. You see Tangent and Instance leave their lab without locking the door. They're heading back towards the living quarters. Usually they're so cautious, but it's late and they must have been very tired to have forgotten. Oh. They've been working on something together in secret. Would you want to find out what? Yes. Checking to make sure the coast is clear, you slip into their office. It's just off the med bay and every flat surface is dedicated to experiments. The whiteboard is covered in dense scribbles and diagrams, and the garbage bin is filled with wrappers of discarded soil mill replacements. It smells like stale coffee and sleep deprivation in here. The hollow screen terminal is still active. It seems strange that they left it on. You get the feeling that they maybe went done for the night. You have to be quick. Examine the whiteboard, search the computer. Check out their experiments. I think I, the person, am a bit suspicious of Tang, but I wouldn't go so far as to search the computer. I would maybe look... What's the experiments about? Some of the experiments blink up at you and chirp. Miserably. It isn't obvious at a glance what's being done to them, but they don't look happy. The cages are locked, but you might be able to free them. I don't want to mess with their experiments. I know that it's probably not great what they're doing to these animals, but I don't want to mess with their experiments. You pore over everything Tang and Instance have been working on, slowly putting together the pieces. What you find is chilling. After researching the shimmer fungus together, they decided to bioengineer a more powerful virus that uses the same pathways but only affects the native vtuber creatures. It would sever the existing symbiotic relationship between vtuber fauna and fungi and be completely fatal to its host. Tang! It would kill everything on the planet. Well, everything that walks, swims, or flies, leaving it empty and ready for human colonization. But why would they do this? You dig a little deeper and find not Instance's research logs, but her personal logs, written on a real paper with a cover page that reads, "In defense upon my death." You read through the papers in which Instance details being approached by Lum shortly after the Helio landed and took control of the council. The Helio had been sent to retrieve congruence and bring justice to the people who stole her, Instance primarily, but also Hal and your mother. When they realized they could never return to Earth, Lum became interested in Instance's research instead, particularly her research into vtuber ecology. A favorite problematic T-girl. Under threat of execution, Instance was essentially forced to pivot her research into finding a way to cleanse the planet for human colonization. If you cleanse the planet, then there's nothing to colonize! These people are idiots! She writes that she tried to shield the other scientists from her work for their protection, but she couldn't keep the secret from her apprentice, Tangent. She speaks highly of Tangent, almost as a mother would talk about her own child. She grieves that she couldn't protect her too. You scan copies of the missives. At least you have evidence now. Ooh. Working in med bay. Yeesh. Yeesh. Oh, whoops. I didn't mean to do that. Ah, damn it. There we go. I didn't mean to do that, but whoops. I had to do it anyway. +3 empathy. As usual for this time of year, your dreams have been more vibrant and invasive. You have trouble distinguishing dream from reality during the day, and you dread falling asleep at night. Huh? How'd that hot eye get into your bedroom? Follow it. You chase it out to your balcony door and find yourself on a thickly wooded path, mushwood pressing in close on every side. The light is weird here, pink and glittering, casting teal shadows. The hot eye disappears down a hole in the ground, and without thinking you dive after it, squeezing your shoulders to fit through. You tumble into a cave, beautiful and surreal, shimmering with a light that seems to come from within. When you take a step forward, the granules of pink sand crunch underfoot. The cave opens out to a bright forest that seems lifted from a fairy tale. The sunlight beams through the breaks in the trees, illuminating a path of mushroom-ringed stepping stones that lead you to a small cottage. You spot the hot eye hurrying further down the path. Visit the cottage. You don't meet anyone in the cottage, but it isn't empty. There is something alive in the old green crate at the back of the cottage. It's banging furiously, jiggling the latch, demanding to be let out. You lift the lid and find yourself falling into the empty box. You land hard on solid ground, your breath whooshing from you. It's hot here, impossibly hot. The twin suns beat down on you, burning your skin on contact, and the air is almost painful to breathe. In all directions stretches a barren wasteland of dead trees, like bones puncturing the dry skin of the planet. Tangent's cool hand helps you up from the dust-cracked earth to see the true extent of the devastation. Everything is dead, Tank says, her voice hollow. Everything. Why didn't someone stop us? Why didn't someone stop him? Tears roll down her face, quickly whisked away by the dry air. I don't know how to stop it, she sobs. Please, Nomia, help me. A great roar shakes you and you turn to see the chimeric nightmare, a manticore, but with Governor Lum's face. He towers over you from a podium, his claws clacking and his tail thrashing as he proselytizes. We primeval forests felling, he chants, we the rivers stemming, piercing deep the minds within, we the surface broad surveying, we the virgin soul upheaving. Overhead the sky is streaked with smoke, you hear rumbling in the distance. It's dead to face it. You plant your legs and refuse to look away from the beast. What am I at? 50 rebellion. With a yell from behind you, Mars appears and swings a sword made of light at the llama abomination. Its head rolls across the dirt, but continues to speak. You turn from the scene and walk away, feeling the memory of it cling to you as you push and claw your way through another reality. You stumble forwards into a dark, glowing forest. Blessedly cool air brushes your cheeks, thick with moisture and making your face wet as if you've been crying. The path wends upwards, flanked by humanoid figures carrying candles. Some are wearing robes, some armor, some lab coats and envirosuits in formal wear. Some are elderly and some are barely 10 years old. All turn to look at you and you realize with a jolt, they're you! Every single one of them is you. You see yourself reflected in their eyes as they gaze upon you dispassionately, a line of possibilities stretching out as far as you can see. The hot bite crouches between the ranks and gazes solemnly out at you as you pass. You walk steadily upward, feeling their unflinching gaze follow you. Overhead, the wormhole hangs in the sky like an overripe fruit, bending the heavy branch of space and time towards you. It's so close you feel as if you could touch it. You stretch your hand out, seeking. You wake up! Game status insomnia. Oh. The milky, quiet sunlight pours through your window, flakes of bromide snow piling up against the glass. You feel as tired as when you went to bed. So relatable. Oh god. It's your birthday. You're 19 years old. Only one more year as a teenager. Cool. And I have something to talk to Tang about. Hello. Tang seems especially troubled today, so you invite her on a long walk around the inner wall. That's Tang's thing, thinking walks. She's touched that you know her that well. She talks in fitful bursts and lapses into long silences. Finally, she stops and puts her hand on the wall, like she's bracing herself. Nomia, something's been bothering me, she says, clenching her other hand at her side. She collects her words with great difficulty. Is it morally defensible to do something that people wouldn't approve of if you're doing it in their best interests? What if you don't have a choice? Do I confront her about it? Honestly, she might want to talk to someone about it. I know about the engineered plague. Oh? Damn! What's my friendship with Tangent? 87! Tang smiles, though it doesn't reach her eyes. It was only a matter of time, I suppose, she says quietly. Sometimes it seems like you know everything that goes on in the colony. Thank you again for your help, she continues. You really were instrumental in overcoming several hurdles, whether you knew it or not. Llama's just using you in instance. You're committing genocide, Tang. Honestly, Llama's just using you. So what? Tang retorts. I would do anything, for instance. Do you think it's easy as being as smart as I am and constantly being held back because I'm just a kid? Instance is the only person in the colony who's ever treated me with respect. Tang sets her jaw. Without her, who would I be? An alcoholic like my mother? A dysfunctional loser like my brother? Committing genocide, Tang. Wrong compared to what, Nomia? Tang says angrily. We're all going to die here if we don't do anything. Our explosives are going to run out and the attacks will keep happening. If the air or food or the weather doesn't kill us first. Don't talk to me about morals, she continues. I'm doing what I have to do. If you want to survive, you have to make the hard decisions. This is a terrible idea. Tang rolls her eyes. What would you know, she retorts. You're just another ignorant ape, grunting fire bad without realizing you're looking at the future of humanity. She pushes herself off the walls and walks away, ignoring your protests. It looks like Tang won't be convinced. If you want any hope of stopping her instance from releasing the virus, you'll need to go over her head and plead with the governor directly, or maybe do something a little more drastic. Maybe she'll ask someone else who knows Tang really well. Who knows Tang really well? I mean, we were in the secret friendship club with Mars. Instance. I can only really think of Instance. Dis maybe, although not really. It was in our memories, right? It's the secret friendship club was Tang, Mars, and I at the beginning, right? You may want to save. I will save. But I won't save scum. No save scum. I'll scroll through the Holovid directory and Holopalm. With everything that's been happening, I honestly haven't had time to watch vids in like whole seasons. Maybe it's been long enough that they feel like they're new again. Give this to Mars. I haven't... Mars and I had some issues. Oh, Dis flags you down outside the gates. He's covered in dust and grime. Okay. If you want to approach Lam, you have to go into command. I can't do anything to face Lam. What am I gonna do? Kill him? He's stronger than me. Hey Nomia says, have you seen my sister? I went to drop off my gear at our quarters and it looks exactly the same as I left it. I sent her a message on a holo, but she left me on red. He frowns and ruffles his hand through his hair. You work with her a lot, right? Is she okay? She's not living in the lab? Well, she's working on a literal plague. Just gives you an incredulous look. Uh-huh, sure, a plague, right. I know my sister is a huge bitch, he continues, but she's not literally an evil genius. Ooh, Tang, destroyer of worlds. Seriously, stop messing with me. Too over this shit. I'm not joking, Dis. Tone of your voice makes Dis pause. Wait, you're serious? That's what they're working on in there? Hi, Will. Welcome. There's a plague. You nod and give Dis a quick summary of what you've learned and how. By the end, he's gone so pale he almost looks green. I don't want to believe it, he mutters, but if what you're saying is true, it'll kill everything, won't it? Not just animals either. The fungal pathways are integral to all life on Vatamna. Tang has no idea, does she? She thinks she's so smart, but she's always been too proud to really get out there and dig in the dirt to see what's really going on. Dis looks like he's about to be sick. If they release the virus, it'll be the end of everything, even the gardeners. Dis takes a few steps away and looks out to the wilderness, covering his mouth with one hand as he thinks. Eventually he turns to you. His face is expressionless. I'll take care of this, he says cryptically. He's not gonna talk to her! What are you gonna do? Dis starts and lapses into silence. He stares past you at the engineering building. Just let me deal with this, Nomia. Thanks for telling me. You're winding down for bed, scrolling through the colony social media when... Dis! An explosion rocks the colony. You are pelted by knickknacks and mementos falling off your shelves as the blast wave rips through the living quarters, stealing the air from your lungs. Your ears still ringing when you run out of the living room quarters, passing people in various states of undress as you all filter outside in shock. Outside, you're greeted by the acrid smell of burning plastic and metal. The engineering building is on fire. The laboratory and the med bay wing is completely engulfed in flames, smoke pouring from the open door. Congruence's fire suppression system is doing its best, but everything in there is toast. The the gen engineering equipment, the life experience, the chief engineer's lab and personal research all destroyed, and any samples of the engineered virus probably. You cover your mouth and nose with your shirt just in case. Tang pushes past you, getting a few meters closer to the flames at the entrance before she falls to her knees and clutches at herself. She stares forward as if in a trance, a dark smudge of silhouette against the fire's blinding orange light. Oh, I got an achievement. Stop Tangent's engineered plague! You look around and meet the eyes of the chief engineer. She looks impassive as always, her jaw set as she watches the destruction of her work. For better or for worse, they won't be releasing that virus anytime soon. The mood the next day is somber. You volunteer to help the construction crews pick through the rubble and sort it out to be repurposed or put in the recycler. There's nothing left of the lab or Dr. Instance experiments. The loss is incalculable. No more gen engineering, obviously, but also among the casualties are other more mundane projects like the agricultural research and medicinal plants. Medbay can be repaired, but it might be a while. Check in on your friends. Everyone is stunned, and a feeling of grief pervades the colony. The council members do a head count of everyone in their divisions. By midday, they send an announcement to everyone's hollow palms. Unbelievably, there are only a few burns and minor injuries. However, Dis is missing. No one's found a body yet, but with great wariness, the council concludes that Dis must have been caught in the blast. His memorial service is scheduled for 1 week from now. Okay, yeah, you know better though, because after the smoke clears, you have one last message from Dis on your hollow palm. Nomia, goodbye, I love you, and I'm sorry. I'll see you again on the other side. Don't come looking for then. Dis! Your profile stuff. Where's this? Ran away to join the gardeners. Yep. I mean, I'm gonna go looking for him. I'm too stressed out though. What does engineering look like? Oh, it's still there. Hi, Tang. Hear Tang's voice before you see her. I've already told you I have no idea where Dis is gone. Perhaps he's dead. You went to the laboratory and see Tangent talking to someone from command. As Dr. Instance looks on with a concerned look, Tangent is standing her ground. I know it's horrible to say or even think, but if I say it, will you finally leave me alone? Wherever he is, he's happier for it. Tang catches your eye and excuses herself, making her way over to you. Pretend you need me for something, she whispers, her voice shaking. I would like to be spared from these vultures. I can still smell the smoke. The fire of the destroyed medbay and biology labs on the upper floors of engineering. Luckily, the engines and classrooms are spared, but the entire wing has been temporarily shut down for repairs. Command? Which one's command? This is not command. This is the living quarters. Is this command? Yeah, this is command. The notice board. Okay. I haven't worked in the depot in a long time. Rising perception. I kind of want to work in the depot. Actually, I want to do some... Can I do some xenobotany? I've been thinking... Biology and organizing. I've been thinking that there's... I have, like, those samples. I'm not sure if there's something. Surveyor Tony found blep grass shortly after the colony landed on Autumna. Gotta go, good luck. Thank you, Mary! The waxy violet grass grows almost everywhere near the colony, and when you steep its roots, you get a deep purple tea. It tastes horrible, grassy and bitter, but it's a stimulant and mildly hallucinogenic, so the adults think it's great. They've been drinking it for years, with no ill effects except for an overwhelming urge just to stick your tongue out and say blech when you taste it. I've been trying to cultivate a new variants that don't taste as awful, or have more potent stimulant or hallucinogenic properties. Maybe I'll even find some entirely new medical usage. Ready to test a new strain, Tangent would probably appreciate a better stimulant, and Cal would appreciate a nicer trip. It will be test subject. Can I, Testing on humans. Potent brew. What? I mean, I think tangent. I'll go with Cal. Bring Cal a cup of freshly brewed black tea and tell him to give it a try. He grimaces at the taste, but he drinks the whole thing. He's a strong one, that Cal. You've arranged to do this test at the end of Cal's workday, just in case it really knocks him out. After a while, you ask him to report on how he feels. Cal blinks at you lazily. Oh, hi, Nomia, he says, as if just noticing you're still there. He's been in deep philosophical conversation with a bubba plant for the last few hours, delighted when it bobs up and down like it's agreeing with him. The high is really pleasant, he says, surfing his hand through the slight breeze. Don't think I like the, my heart feels funny, like it's beating too fast, then it just like stops, and like I'm worried it doesn't want to start again, then it goes thump thump really hard when it starts up again, you know? God, that's so relatable. That's what my heart does do all the time. Okay. Okay, did I say does do? Don't talk to me. It sounds like Cal's experiencing some pretty common palpitation symptoms. You tell Cal this strain must be too strong, but he disagrees. No, it's fine, he says. It's just a little weird at first. If I know everything's gonna be fine, it won't bother me as much. Next time, I'll be totally chill. Sure, man, go nuts. Next time? Well, sure, you were just gonna toss the rest of the strain anyway, but if Cal wants to have a real deep relax with it, no harm there. Alright. What do we got here? You can do a 3, 4, 5. If I do this. Do this. Let's do this. Damn it. This. There we go. Ween. Okay. Organizing. Fantastic. Might want to relax. I've had a stressful month. Oh, hi, Gal. Looking around for Cal when you overhear him just around the other side of the geoponics dome. Last time, leave me alone. Doesn't sound good. You get closer and find Cal facing down Rhett and Vase. They've cornered him, their body language calm and relaxed while Cal's so angry he's almost shaking. Cal, please listen to us, Rhett says, spreading his hands. We're not here to conscript you. I can't force you to join the army. All I'm saying is that I need good, loyal, strong young men like you out there on the front lines. Rhett smiles. You're a good boy, Cal. I admire your passion for peace and your dedication to fighting for it. That's why I'm here, asking you to help me protect the colony. Protect the colony, Cal spits. That's such a lie. You're not protecting anything. You're just slaughtering defenseless animals in their homes. It's disgusting. Hey, Vase retorts, taking a step forward with his fist raised. Show some respect. No. Cal squares up, like he's ready to take the hit. For who? He asks, voice sharp. Psychopaths like you? Vase roars and looks like he's about to take a swing, but Rhett holds him back with one raised hand. Vase slinks back to Rhett's eyes, glowering at Cal. I can tell you need a bit more time, Rhett says. I just wanted you to know that my door is always open if... Are they bothering you, Cal? Your mom comes up behind you, her presence smothering the encounter like a blanket over a fire. I need you inside, she says to Cal, then turns to Rhett. My people are too busy filling your soldiers' bellies to listen to your war stories, Rhett. Don't worry. She adds, patting her artificial leg. He gets plenty of war stories from me. Rhett backs off. You're right, Flulu, he says placatingly. I'm taking up too much of young Cal's time. Vase looks like he's about to lip off again, but Rhett speaks up before he can. All I ask is you keep it in the back of your mind, Cal. When you come around, I'll be happy to talk about your options. With that, they leave. Vase gives you a scathing look as they pass. Cal sits down heavily on the sack of fertilizer he must have been carrying before Vase and Rhett cornered him. This isn't even the first time, he mutters, his face in his hands. They're really dead set on getting me to join the hunting parties. I told them I don't want to kill anything, and Rhett was like, it's okay, you can just tell us how to kill them. He looks up exasperated, like that's any better. I wish they would leave you alone. Me too, Cal sighs. They have a really messed up idea of what it means to serve the colony. Like, who do they think grows their food? Ghosts? Cal picks a loose thread on the sack he's sitting on. Man, this whole war is light speed stupid, he mutters. Lama's people come crashing in here and think they run the place because they have bombs and guns. Also, I realize my curse isn't being captured. You can't see me trace the words, so I can read them. And nobody stops to think, like, maybe we're actually the invasive species here. We need to live in harmony with nature. I'm glad you agree, Cal says. I just feel like we showed up and plopped ourselves right in the middle of the food web, Cal continues, and we didn't even think for a second about the chaos that would cause on the ecosystem. We owe it to this planet to do our best to try to understand. Cal looks out towards the walls. Well, maybe the answer is out there, he says quietly. You go on expeditions a lot, right? Can you keep an eye out for, like, the answer to everything? Cal's shoulders slump in a sigh. He pushes himself to his feet. And then I wish I could still talk about this stuff with an enemy, he says, singing the sack of fertilizer over his broad shoulders again. You can see why Rhett wanted to get him in the defense force so badly. I miss her, Cal admits. I miss that we used to be so close when we were kids, he shakes his head. But she's gone all human supremacist now, and I just can't stomach that, you know. Me neither. Yeesh. Okay. Let's do one more thing, and then next month we'll go on an expedition, I think. Is engineering open again? Or is it still down? It's still down. I kind of want to go to the command to see if there's something I can do over there with Mars, maybe. I haven't worked there in a while. Organizing and persuasion. Let's do that. Let's work in the depot. You're scrolling through a holonovel behind the desk when Tangent comes in. She pauses and looks uncomfortable when she sees you and Mars looking at her, and quickly disappears into the shelves. You and Mars shrug. A few minutes later, Tang comes up to the counter and drops a fistful of candy. She sits from foot to foot as you ring her up, jostling up and down, rubbing her stomach. I also need something from behind the counter, she says quietly. Some medicine. You ask her what she needs, and she mumbles a name. You can't hear her. Is this meant to happen when they're younger? She mumbles it again, a little louder. Mars stifles a giggle. I'm sorry, what? Tang rolls her eyes. Stop, she curses. I need fart pills, okay? The stupid alien bacteria and all these weird native foods make my stomach upset. OMG, Mars laughs. You have blue gut? Really? Tang the perfect is blue farts? This is meant to happen with their kids. Tang crosses around and looks miserable. You give Mars a questioning look. Blue gut, Mars says. You know when you keep farting and farting all this like blue dusty stuff? Mars leans over the counter to get a better look at Tang's backside. Oh no, she says dramatically. White was not the best color to wear today, Tangent. Your butt's as blue as Nomia's hair. Mars cackles as Tang anxiously cranes her neck to look at her rear. Liar, Tang mumbles, not meeting your eyes. Just give me the pills, please. I don't want to talk about my stupid body. Be sensitive and nice. Empathy. You let Tangent know you're very sorry this is happening to her. Blue gut and it's an uncomfortable condition. No, Midas do it, Tangent, no! You let her know that anything you can do to help, you'll be there for her because that's what friends are for. This approach seems to make Tang even more miserable as she takes her order and rushes out of the depot as soon as you're done. Okay. Oh, wait. Could do this. Do that. There we go. Ween. Let's do organizing +2 persuasion. Okay. Really pollen. Okay, we're gonna rest. Is there anywhere to hang out? I think Hop to it might be at the max. I'm at 3. So I think I might relax. What's the spa? I saw there was a spa. What's a spa? I'll select a memory to forget. Oh, you pay money to forget these memories. I think I might get rid of giggling. Because it's a 0 and it's annoying. Yeah, that's all I read. Okay, help in the kitchens. Creativity, empathy. Fine, should we have some friendship with Rex? What am I with Rex? I'm at 13. Why not? Split your time between watching Holovids, listening to music, and studying for class. Occasionally someone asks you to run an errand for them. You go on long walks. Overall, you spend the month relaxing and doing whatever you want, whenever you want. You really needed this. Okay. Nope. I'm keeping... It's only worth 2, but I'm keeping it for Tammy. Okay. Cal's over here. Okay. Any collectibles? I'm gonna go out. I'm not sure exactly where I want to go. Cal said I should go on expeditions and look for the solution to everything. So maybe I'll try that. Try looking for the solution to everything. Keep forgetting I have WSD. Okay. Do I have any boss events? Planes. There's one nearby. No. So the ridge is perception and engineering. Forage in the valley. Perception and biology. These are all perception, right? Yeah, perception. Engineering might be worth... I feel like engineering's important. What's this one? Perception animals. Yeah, let's go to the ridge. Try and find the solution to everything. I'm gonna go to Sim spot. Just because I feel like I have to. Just to check. Oh, Utopia's here. Utopia sent a team of geologists to get a closer look at this region's weird terrain. You come across them working and Utopia beckons you over. Nomia, she says, drawing everyone's attention to you. Nomia, come here. Everyone, Nomia's been working in this area a while, and I'm sure they've got plenty of information on what's out here. The geologists politely turn towards you and listen. Here's what we've got so far, Utopia says, speaking directly to you. Judging from how the layers of sedimentation are broken up, this place used to be pretty flat for there must have been a ton of earthquake activity, ripping up the land and bringing up these huge ridges. I forget Utopia's meant to have a southern accent for some reason. Can date these quakes around the time these ruins were created, she adds. And we're looking, but we haven't seen anything built after them. Like that was it for the old conversion domain. Is that southern? I don't fucking know. It's broken up layers are the same across the planet. Something sure happened about 20,000 years ago. I'm not gonna tell them about gardeners. Share your findings on the obsidian layer. Explain how below the sands is a thick layer of dark silica crystal obsidian stuff from the convergent domain used. Utopia notes. Right, you can see it in the striations, yeah? It's one of the major landmarks in the geological timeline. Obsidian and earthquakes are both associated with volcanoes, but there are no volcanoes here. Not even a fault line, Utopia says, wiping it forward. It's just not natural. Finding in the crystals. Crystals soak up energy from the sun and transfer it underground. But what if energy was unleashed suddenly? Utopia watches bemused as geologists crunch numbers. It would have been an enormous amount of energy, but if the entire region was one big solar battery, that kind of energy, the energy of 2 suns, could definitely cause earthquakes of the magnitude that could rip apart the land. I'm not telling you about the gardeners. Help them work. Set up a drone hive to measure the sediment layers along the cliffside and learn a few things about rocks. The gardeners are still just in my secret. I'm at 100 engineering, but I've got bonuses. I knew it! I knew it! I fucking knew it! I fucking knew it! What did I say? I said there's no way! I fucking knew it! Taking a sample at the base of a tree when you feel something patter off your head and fall to the ground. It's a nut? That's strange. This species doesn't usually... You look up and your stomach lurches when you realize that you've been being watched this whole time. Diz is gone! Diz ran away to be with the gardeners, though. So maybe Diz knows that Sim's alive. I wish I could tell Diz. You look up and your stomach lurches when you realize you've been watched the whole time. A pair of familiar eyes peers down at you from the branches. It's Sim? He grins down at you. Well, 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 if it isn't a little human, have you come to visit me, Sugarbug? I would say Sim's dead, who the hell are you? I would be suspicious if this wasn't Sim, because I know gardeners can shapeshift. But he said Sugarbug. And he said Sugarbug before. I feel like if it was another gardener pretending to be him, he wouldn't use the nicknames. But I saw you die. Did you? He says slyly. You'd think I would remember that. If you did witness my death, I apologize, Sim continues. He leans down from his branch, his long hair dangling just out of reach. I imagine I didn't enjoy it much either. How can you just die and come back? It's a gardener thing, he replies dismissively. He's so casual about it. I make regular backups just in case. Backups? Sim gives you a little smile. Surely by now you know I cannot divulge the specifics of my role here. Doesn't stop you from hinting. Sim's smile grows wider and he chills with laughter. I know. Oh, having a secret is so much more gratifying than I expected it would be. I guess I'm happy you're alive? Sim sighs gratuitously. I wish everyone felt that way, he mutters. One of my associates seems to feel otherwise. At your confused look, he waves his hand. One of the other gardeners, noctilucent. They don't really care for you humans, I'm afraid, and they're aware of taking an interest in you. With a soft whumph, Sim drops gracefully out of the tree and dusts himself off. He claps you on the shoulder. I'd watch out for them if I were you, he says. They're quite dangerous. Sim turns to leave, but you sputter and grab his sleeve. You can't, after all that. You deserve some answers, real ones. He owes you that. He turns to you, one eyebrow raised. What is it, Nomia? What do you really do here? Sim gives you a blank smile. I'm a gardener, he says simply. I was created to be a gardener, and I imagine I will be one until my services are no longer required. At your look of confusion, Sim softens. Humanity is so concerned with purpose, he says sadly. It is because you are not created for one, and you spend the entirety of your short lives under the impression that you need one. The concept of someone having purpose must be seductive. He shrugs one elegant shoulder. My existence is simple. I act in the ways for which I was created. That is not an interesting answer for an individualistic species as yourselves, I'm aware. Perhaps we both must accept that it's maybe beyond the human capacity to comprehend. Are you really Sim? The one and the same, Sim answers, carefully prying your hand from his clothing. I acknowledge this is difficult for you to understand. He takes a deep breath, considering his words carefully. Humans have but one short window of consciousness, which encourages you to think of yourself as individual points on a line of history. You are, quite clearly, not your parents, or your grandparents, or your unborn children. You are your own marvelous creature. He places his hand on his chest. I do not disappear when this form dies. I am eternal, in a sense. I am all who came before, and I am all who will come after. I am my own set legacy. I am symbiosis. He tilts his head to the side, as if listening to something, and squeezes your hand. I fear I've said too much. I hope I can see you again soon, and that all may be revealed to you. Sim? I'm gonna look for the thumper. If this is anywhere, he'd be around here, right? Probably talk to him again. Oh yeah. It's a good point. Okay. Brought you something. Give him a crystal. May need it later. Okay. Come up on him practicing something that looks like yoga. His body moves in very unnatural ways, like he's double jointed. There's so much possibility in this body, he observes. I cannot help but think humans don't appreciate the limits of their forms. I feel positively nubile. Could you help me calm down? Okay. It's my pleasure, Nomia. Stay safe out there. Wanna have a look? Cause yeah, I don't think this is dead. He would run. He is a little bit exclamation point content warning in chat. A little bit so I don't trust that he wouldn't blow himself up in an explosion. Thumper. Okay. Ooh. Oh, exclamation point. See smoke on the horizon. Concerned it could be the start of a wildfire, you trek over to check it out. When you get to the origin of the smoke, you find something unexpected. Yes! I knew it! I knew I'd find him here! I knew it! I knew it! Oh, Dis looks up at you from a campfire where he's roasting a small creature on a spit. It hasn't been that long since you last saw him, but he looks more rugged somehow, completely at ease. He's made a small but tidy camp here. He must have brought a lot of this with him when he ran away. He stares at you in silence for a few seconds, as if gauging your intentions before he rises to his feet. Nomia, he says warmly, taking you in his arms. He looks deep into your eyes. I told you not to come find me, but I'm glad you did. Are you okay? Sure, he replies with a slight smile. I know how to live off the land. Nomia's here, you hear from behind you. Okay, good. Just knows that Sim is alive. You turn to find Sim watching you from the cover of the forest. He steps into the glow of the campfire, tall and ethereal in his tattered human clothing. You can tell them the truth now, he says. What's done is done. What's going on? It's happening, just says. Like I said, the garden is going to make me one of them. They're going to take my consciousness and upload it into this big fungal artificial intelligence they call the array. Being around Sim, it makes me realize what I've been missing, he continues. You know the old Earth fairy tales about changelings, right? Like, I never fit in with the colony, and eventually I realized I never really fit in with being human either. Not being afraid of death and pain like everyone else, like every other being. It changed who I am, what I am. I should tell you, this wasn't my idea, Sim adds. Not this, nor the bombing of your laboratory. That was not part of the plan. He frowns at you, arching his brow. Though from what Dis told me about your scientist's plan to eliminate all life on this planet, I can't say I disagree with his decision. What were you thinking? I couldn't let Tang go through with the virus, Dis insists. I didn't have any time. I had to make a decision. Noctilucent and the other gardeners wanted me to blow up the colony during the next attack, so... Dis shrugged. I just bumped up their timeline, and now I get to be a gardener too. I'm not sorry I did it, Dis continues, turning away. If you came here to bring me back, forget it. Like Sim said, what's done is done. I'm not going back. My future was with the gardeners, he says. They need me. They want me. I can bring them a human perspective, you know. For all humans suck, we're pretty good at finding new ways of doing things. I can teach them how to change things to make them better. With that, Dis returns to the campfire. Sim nods at you, then joins Dis. Talk to Dis first. Dis gestures for you to sit next to him. I am really glad you found me out here, he says, taking your hand. I know what I did is hard to accept, but... He cups your face in his hand. Don't you see? Humanity is doomed here. I only made the end come a little quicker. Dis searches your face. Wait, why are you looking at me like that? He can't come home. The colony is home to me, but I don't think it's home to Dis. It's not his home. I don't know what being a gardener means for Dis. Going to miss you. Going to miss you too, Dis mumbles, poking the fire with a stick. You're probably the only person I'm gonna miss. Sim clears his throat. Well, technically, he says, Dis will be become a part of the planet itself, as I am. You're part of the ecosystem, and therefore, everything you are will be within Dis's domain. He smiles. And when your physical form fails, and you return all that you took from the planet, you'll be together forever. There's only one problem, Sim says. The process hasn't been done in thousands of years. We're going to need some raw materials to prepare the infant base. Are you kidding me? Dis says. I've done everything you guys have asked me to do, and now I've got to do more. Sim looks apologetic. Well, it is better I tell you this now rather than have you find out mid-upload when your body has already been processed into a liquefied slurry of proteins and waste matter, correct? Dis makes a face, and Sim continues. It is metamorphosis, little one. It's not pretty. Regardless, we will need 3 convergent domain power sources and 3 crystal clusters. I already have those, don't I? Yup. I already got them. Sim looks surprised. Oh, well, isn't that convenient? You just carry them around on your person? Yup. You nod, and Sim raises his eyebrows but doesn't comment further. Well, I can take you right now. This way, please. You, Dis, and Sim strike camp and head off into the brush. Sim in the lead. You walk for about half hour until Sim bids you follow him into a natural route formation. It's awfully tight and weirdly warm, as if crawling into the belly of some animal. You emerge into a cave that seems naturally formed, though a curious hum emanates from the bank of ancient-looking control panels. Mineral deposits from the moisture trickling down the walls have reclaimed some of them into the rock. A glowing vat takes up the rest of the space in the cave. Just looks surprised by the dank, drippy environs. Sim only smiles. What did you expect, he says. Gleaming sterile surfaces, blinding lights, terrifying medical equipment? He gestures to the pool of faintly bioluminescing liquid. We are an all-organic operation, I'm afraid. Shall I begin? I suppose. Just steps forward. I'm ready. What do I do? Sim gestures to the pool. Simply submerge yourself in the gel and breathe normally. It is biocompatible with your respiratory system. It's fucking the goo from Evangelion. Disrobing is not necessary. Your clothing will be liquefied along with your physical form. Just steps forward, but Sim stops him with a hand on his chest. I must be certain you have given this full consideration before you pass the point of no return. Once you lie down in that pool, your life as an organic being will be over. Just knocks Sim's hand away. I don't care about that, he says. I'm never going back to being a human. I'm ready to shed this stupid body and be what I was meant to be all along. Don't worry, Sim says. The process only takes approximately 3 weeks. He'll be back before you know it. Sim smiles and tilts his head. Though you might not recognize him at first, he continues. His body will be liquefied and his DNA will be merged with ancient convergent domain DNA, a simulacrum of what will be encoded into the array in order to translate his brain patterns. His consciousness will be run through simulations of tens of thousands of communal memories and his organic material recycled. He waves his hand. In truth, the process is complicated and physically, he shudders, repulsive to watch. Thankfully, he will sleep through it. Well, not sleep. Exactly more of a, well, the point is you will see him again, just not in this form. Hi Mary, you're really lucky to always come back at the most dramatic points. My boyfriend is about to be liquefied. What am I supposed to do? Goodbye, Jess. Jess looks at the glowing vat, then turns back and embraces you one last time with his human form. Whatever happens, I'll find you again, he promises. No matter what, you'll always be a part of me. He descends into the vat without hesitation. You watch his image reflect through the glowing glue, his determined expression faltering for a moment as it fills his lungs. His last breath bubble up to slowly pop on the surface of the pool. A peaceful look descends upon him, and he mouths something you cannot decipher as his eyes slide shut. What now? Oh, nothing, Sim replies, staring into the pool with a pleasant expression. The only thing we can do is wait for the interface to do its job. He turns to you with a smile. Unless you would like to undergo the metamorphosis as well. You did repair the interface after all, and you've proven yourself a friend to me. It would be an honor to assimilate your consciousness into mine. What's it like? Sim shrugs. Well, it's like having your brain liquefied, then digitally slurped into a computer, I suppose. He replies, but it doesn't hurt if that's what you mean. His smile drops as he gives you a long look. Your perspective will change. If you become a gardener, some of what makes up your consciousness, the chemicals and hormones in your brain, will be different, and then different again should you choose to take physical form. Your memories will still be there, but some of the emotions associated with them might be lost. For some gardeners, it can be hard to separate your personal identity from that of the planet, Sim continues. You'll feel a strong drive to nurture and protect the ecosystem at all costs. In fact, you may not have a personal identity for some time. Gardeners prioritize the whole creation over a single organic creature. An amoral worldview that I have learned causes a great deal of internal struggle in humans. Don't do this unless you're sure it's what you want, he says, looking back at Dis's sleeping face. Dis was sure. Dallas is saying to do it. But the thing is that, again, I have my family. I have my mom and my dad. I don't want to say scum! That's not what this is for. Hang on, I'll save here for maybe later if I want to go back and see what it looks like. But I have things I need to. I can't leave my colony behind. That's okay, I like my body. He chuckles. That is quite alright, he says, clapping you on the back. It is not for everyone. Besides, I'm sure you have very important work to do among the humans. Sim steps away from the pool. As for myself, I believe that I will keep this form a while longer, he says. There are some benefits to it, particularly while humans wage war on the planet. He laughs, shaking his head. When this is all over, I think I will spend some time as Lycan, he murmurs to himself as he walks out of the cave. It will be a pleasing change of pace. Well, home. I'm ready to go home. Well, it said in about 3 weeks' time, Jis would become a gardener, so maybe now that a month has passed. Maybe. I might give it another month just to be certain. How's engineering looking? Okay. Give you another flower. Okay, this is back up. Is medbay still down, I guess? Pair of robots, engineering, creativity. Reasoning and empathy. That might... What do I want to do? Do I want to look over in geoponics, maybe? Gifts to people? I could give something to Cal. I do kind of want to get my organizing up so I can do... There's a thing that I can do with my mother if I get organizing 80. Would you like just a flower? I love it, thank you. If I work at command more, I might get some unlock stuff that'll allow me to get closer to Lum. Organizing and persuasion. That might be useful. Past the construction yard on your way to work at the depot, Rex waves you over. Hey, come take a look at this, he says, leading you over to the portion of the heliosphere is being married to the old living quarters with the scaffolding and mushwood. Isn't this wild? It's like our two spaceships are actually becoming one. This is meant to happen earlier in the game. He throws his arm around your shoulder. It's like a metaphor, get it? The colony and us from the helio, learning how to work together, how we build our environment affects how we live, you know? You should come by and help me, he continues. It's really fun. You get to build things and the construction crew is really nice, and you get to hang out with me. Wait, why not start right now? He hands you a plas cutter, a gun-shaped tool that emits a thin beam of superheated plasma. No time like the present, right? Seek says we always need more workers here. But you have another job that you promised to do. Your toughness 30 or greater. Let's work hard. Okay. You help Rex hold up a part of the wall. Ooh, and I got an engineering up too. Well, he fits a bracket in place. There's a lot of pounding and wiggling to get to fit, which delights Rex every time he gets to make a joke about it. Yep, it's sweaty, rewarding work, and you learn something about engineering while you're at it. Chief Administrator Seek comes storming out of the command to find you. Nomia, where have you been? I expected you hours ago. Well, it's my bad, Rex says, moving to stand between you and Seek. If he had a tail, it would be between his legs, the perfect picture of an apologetic puppy. I asked them to help out. We're super short on hands around here, and they did a great job. Seek begrudgingly accepts that you did, in fact, do a good work. They tell you that if you're cleared to help out in construction if you like, snidely commenting that you're better suited for manual labor than the job you are actually supposed to do today. Okay. Da-da. Right, this. There we go. Okay. Super goal even. 4 organizing. Ooh. Okay, let's see if we can go find Gardener Dis, I guess. Is anyone else around to chat? Hi, Nam. Having fun being a fascist? Cool. I'm so concerned about Nam. Okay. Survey the ridge. Let's go. Come on up to it. Let's go look. What to do? Topia's not here. Let's look for Seam. Seam here. Yes, hello. Sim materializes out of the forest before you. Nomia, he says gravely. Forgive my directness, but you must come with me now. He places his hand on your shoulder. Please trust me when I say I've done my best to argue on behalf of your kind. I only hope for the continued survival of humanity. Ominous. He crouches down to slide into a hidden opening under the roots of a tree. You follow, feeling strangely as if you're crawling into the belly of some animal. You emerge in a cave filled with the hum of strange machinery. A bank of ancient-looking control panels and a crystal tank of glowing liquid seems to have almost grown out of the initial rock. This is the place we were before. Mineral deposits. Sim leads to a console. This is the array, he says, pressing what seems to be buttons. As I've explained, this body I wear is only a vessel. My consciousness, the person who I am, is stored in the array. I return to it regularly, storing my body in the regeneration tank while I back up what I've learned that day into the array. Physical forms are prone to injury and death, Sim says quietly. It is temporary, but highly unpleasant. Therefore, the Overseer prefers to remain in the array. Sim directs you to two weirdly fungal growths. Please take hold of these interface handles. You cautiously touch the handles and say... I'm with the Overseer. Bodies are icky. Fluids are the worst part. I can't stand when they leak. A strange presence speaks in your head. Play it cool. You can feel the Overseer pause, then a sensation in your mind that reminds you of someone clearing their throat. I am the Overseer, the voice continues. I speak for the gardeners. We will now show you what we are. I'm ready. You had the oddest feeling of memories being inserted into your mind, first a trickle, then a flood. A civilization called the Convergent Domain once existed on this planet over 20,000 years ago. In your mind you see their dominion stretched from pole to pole, their farms and solar arrays glittering on the surface as their massive cities tunneled below. I already know about the domain. We are aware of that, the Overseer replies, its voice dry in your mind. We know most everything that happens on this planet. The Convergent Domain created the gardeners as their ecological control system, a vast network of artificial intelligences stored deep underground in a digital array. Self-propagating control towers and cloning stations were seeded, allowing a gardener program to take biological form, downloading a copy of its consciousness into a host body created to suit the task at hand. You think of Sim, his body created to suit the task of befriending you? Under the direction of the Convergent Domain, the gardeners controlled the weather, the acidity of the soil, the cultivated species in their farms, and the rapidly shrinking wild areas of the planet. The Overseer doesn't quite sigh, but you get the impression it would. Over time, the domain nearly destroyed the planet. They didn't respect nature? Correct, the Overseer responds. They saw the natural world as an unending buffet of resources. The exhaust from their factories blanketed the planet, choking out sunlight and oxygen. They consumed too much, destroyed the planet's ecosystem, then fought bitterly over the remaining resources. The last directive the gardeners were given by the domain was to repair the planet's destroyed ecosystem, the Overseer says solemnly. The gardeners tried, but it was too late. When the crops failed and the atmosphere became too thick for sunlight to pierce, the Convergent Domain perished by billions. The last survivors took the sky in colony ships and never returned. You try to imagine a tragedy on this scale, but it's just too enormous, too abstract to wrap your head around. The Overseer continues relentlessly, new thoughts flooding into your mind. Over the millennia, the gardeners took their task seriously. It takes little effort to render a planet inhospitable, but significant dedication to restore it. Under the guidance of the gardeners and the final directive of the Convergent Domain, nature at last reclaimed the barren planet. The garden existed in perfect balance, and now your species has been made of it. We had nowhere else to go. Your kind had the option to stay where they were, the Overseer replies, the tone of its thoughts darkening. Do you think we have empathy for the Convergent Domain who fled on colony ships, the ones who selfishly refused to give their bodies back to their planet they destroyed with their pride? You chose to come here, the Overseer continues, and you continue to stay here. You could instead choose to die. You shudder involuntarily. Some Vertemnan species have a technique of future sight, which the gardeners harness to catch glimpses into the web of timelines. We see that you possess this technique too, alone in your kind. We have foreseen that the humans pose a great danger to this planet. You are a monoculture, an invasive species. You throw a hard-won balance into disarray. Since arriving, you have showed nothing but a willingness to consume the planet's resources and replace them with more humans. We didn't even know you were here. You tell the Overseer that your parents didn't know. They told you long-range scans of the planet was unpopulated. You get the impression that the Overseer is scoffing at you. This is an argument in your favor, that you'd feel guiltless in destroying Vtumna's natural habitat if there are no sentient species to claim ownership of it. The gardeners do not own the planet. We are the planet. Most gardeners would prefer to stamp you humans out like encroaching weeds, the Overseer says without malice. Instead, we have tried using ecologically compliant organic methods. We are impressed at your tenacity to withstand these eradication procedures. The yearly attacks, the famine, the pollen, not random natural occurrences at all, but gardeners' tactics to encourage the eradication of pests. But symbiosis speaks in defense of your kind, the Overseer continues. It took effort to convince us that you were sentient and capable of communication. You present us with a quandary. You come from the stars, refugees of a catastrophe of your own design, one that you are intent to recreate here, on a planet which still bears the scars of the last time it was used carelessly. So we ask, what are we to do with you? Humans can change, help us. So we teach your kind to be stewards of nature, the Overseer replies. Perhaps your children take up the mantle as well, and their children. But soon you are dead, as are your children's children. Generations pass, no one alive remembers the time gardeners came to the humans and taught them the proper ways to live. And now there are too many of you to teach, and your behavior is too entrenched. What then? Genocide? You have no answer. There is silence in your head, and you only hear the sound of water trickling down the cave walls and the gentle hum of the machines. Eventually, the Overseer speaks in your mind one last time. For now, you may leave freely. We will consider this quandary, and we will be monitoring you and the other humans. You feel a strange pull at your consciousness as you remove your hands from the interface. There you have it, Simemus. That is my boss. Your boss needs to get out more. Sim huffs, like he's afraid to laugh. Sim is an augment? He walks over and runs his hand over the consoles. And now you know how to connect to the array, he says quietly. But you should not come here unless I am with you. Sim takes your hands and looks at you solemnly. When you interface with the array, you hold everything we are in your hands. It took a great deal of negotiating to convince my fellow gardeners to trust you with this power. Please do not prove his trust mistaken. More? Sim nods as you approach. Just the human I wanted to see. Overseer would like to speak to you again. I guess I'm speed running through the stuff. We're gonna act like this is happening at a different time, I guess. Sim leads you to the same cave as before. Nothing much has changed, and you get the impression that nothing much does change here. You place your hands on the handles of the array and wait. We have thought over our conversation. You feel the Overseer in your mind. We have considered that symbiosis may be corrupt and in need of reabsorption, but his affection for your species is genuine, so we have an offer to make you. Humans wield godlike powers, but lack the capacity to understand the consequences of their actions, the Overseer explains. You have no connection to the land you claim, beyond the short, brutal window of your own consciousness. Our offer is this. We will not eradicate your colony. Instead, you will be tended to, just as the gardeners tend to the rest of the planet. You'll be given fresh water, clean air, and good soil, and be protected from outside harm. In exchange, humans will stay within their colony, and limit their population growth so as to maintain balance within the habitat. You will not leave this territory to procure more resources. You will cease all hunting, logging, and expansion outside of your valley. Like a human nature reserve? More or less, the Overseer responds, you're a curiosity to us, as well as a sentient species. We would like to preserve you without endangering the ecological balance of the planet. Now you will go and convince the others of your species to agree to a compromise. I mean, I'll try my best. You say you don't know if there's any way to convince Governor Lum to agree with this. The Overseer seems to accept this. An envoy will visit in the glow season to discuss it formally, it replies. To be clear, an armed envoy. We suggest making yourselves look non-threatening by then. Sim gives you a slight smile. That seems like it went well. I fought hard for them to consider options other than eradication. I'm glad that my trust in you is correct. Ooh. I think I have to reduce the colony's defenses as much as possible, right? That sounds like what it's supposed to do. As Sim leads you back to the surface, you quietly wonder at him. This man, or rather this ancient artificial intelligence resembling a man, has pushed his directives to the limit to help humanity. His interest started with mere curiosity, but over time he's come to love humans and value survival. Has he made a mistake? Oof. So yeah, I think messing with the defenses. I don't know how I would do that exactly. I think probably trying to get the colony's defenses as low as possible is probably my best bet. I'm not sure how to go about doing that though. There's the thumper. Here, okay, nothing over here. I think I might look around to see if there's anything else, but I want to go home and save my stress. Just see if there's anything I can do. I don't want to use up another period of time on resting. Okay, there's these crystals over here. I'm just gonna have a look around. I think I might be going home. Ba-ba. I'm trying to think of ways lowering the colony's defenses. The main thing I'm thinking is like probably is a way to get an enemy to not fight, but I think I might have missed the boat on that. I think an enemy is pretty red pilled at this point. Maybe working. There was the Rhett came to see me to repair stuff in the robotics lab, and I could have chosen not to do that. Okay, I think that's everything. Okay, I'm gonna go home. Governor Lum enters the colony square to his customary bombastic fanfare, brass band, red carpet, banners with the Heliopause logo snapping in the hot dust breeze. It is a bit much. The governor gets his usual tithe of applause from die-hard soldiers, but it's obvious how tired and fearful everyone has become in service to his war. You catch Mars' attention and she rolls aside and makes a gagging motion. Cal looks sullen and withdrawn, refusing along with the rest of Geoponics to give Lum any report. Almost max engineering, yeah. Pretty close. Governor raises his hands for silence, though it's largely unnecessary. Pioneers of Autumna, he begins. We stand here today not shivering and quaking in fear, but with our hands around the neck, he makes a ringing gesture, of the planet herself. Before he can continue, Mars leaps from her seat and runs to the front of the stage. A ripple of fear goes through the crowd. You all remember what happened to Utopia last year. It doesn't have to be like this, she cries, speaking to the crowd. We don't have to listen to them. You're just a bully with a gun like the ones we left behind on Earth. Watch in delight. Turns to the council. Why are you just sitting there? Come on, aren't you going to do anything? The council look at each other. Rhett seems unmoved, and Utopia shrinks into herself, holding her hand to her chest. Aunt Anne looks concerned, but full of alarm. Instance is grim, and Seek just waits to see what happens. Only your mom looks enthusiastic. She wisely looks around at the others and doesn't voice her support. Given that Lum's already hostile towards her, she'd be risking too much. Lum gestures sharply to his guards, and Mars is seized and taken out of sight. In the uncomfortable silence that follows, the governor strides to the front of the stage and looks down at the crowd. As I was saying, you can trust me to lead this colony and humanity into a new era, he says. An era of peace and prosperity, where we no longer need to fear the creatures that come out in the night. He raises his fist to the sky. This planet is rich, he cries. It is the earth we were promised, unscarred by the mistakes of our forefathers. You're just making the mistakes again! Here we will become what humanity has always tried to become. Caretakers of a new garden, children of a new earth. People cheer, spurred on by Lum's display of dominance. Lum looks upon the crowd with pride. Pioneers, we're so close, he says. Soon this planet will be ours, and all of our riches and wonders with it. But first, he continues, we need to adapt to the harsh realities of our current world. He gestures at the council. I know you all love your council, but it's time we think about the future. We need to guard the colony leadership, he says with some disdain, against sudden upheavals, deaths, imprisonment, and the like. I've decided to instate a second position for each seat on the council, he announces. Lum explains that every council member will take an official second in command. Seconds will be trained in the running of the department and will be ready to take over the department should the worst happen during an attack. The council looks concerned. Is this how Lum begins to cycle out the colonial government with a veneer of legitimacy? Applicants must have spent a minimum amount of time in a department and will be judged by the council based on their relevant skills, though Lum will likely argue hard for his Helio appointees. You scribble a name onto the ballot for... Ooh, I can do any of these! I mean, with my mom. I feel like I've got to go for my mom. Mom gives you a business-like nod as you put your name on the ballot. She's proud of you, but keenly aware that showing favoritism would be a bad idea. You probably won't get any help from her. The council discusses all the nominees at length then. You win! You're the second cultivator now. Your mom assures you that you didn't win because of nepotism. You're the best person for this job. When the voting is concluded, Seek announces the names of the newly appointed seconds. The crowd cheers for you when Seek reads your name as second cultivator. You don't recognize the Helio appointed to second administrator. Must be one of Lum's people. Vase is appointed to second security officer under Rhett. He gives little speech, essentially congratulating himself and promising to single-handedly win this war. Tangent stands proudly in her rightful place at Chief Engineer Instance's side as her second. Steward of Heliopause joins Aunt Anne as her much-needed second steward. There's a lot of babies in the colony now, and someone has to help take care of them. Helio soldier you don't recognize is appointed as Utopia's second, much to her dismay. After the politicking is over, the crowd adjourns to the feast tables and eventually the dance floor. The sun sets on a long day, the heat breaks, and the party continues well into the night. After the festivities, it's straight back to work as usual. Everyone complains. You usually get at least a few days off after Vitaminalia, but Lum reminds the colony that it's only a few short months before the next attack. Your dreams begin to increase in intensity as the wormhole draws closer to the planet, filled with terrifying and confusing visions. A feeling of urgency dogs your steps, like you're running out of time. Oof. Okay. Okay, anything here? 10 events remaining. Okay. Go talk to my mother. I mean, I'm fucking the second in command here. So I might as well. Organizing. If I get an extra organizing from this, I'll be able to hang out with my mom. Your dad has an interesting sample he wants you to study today. So kiddo, I've been cultivating something, he says. He shows you a plant with thick purple stalks and pairs of tiny heart-shaped leaves. It's called dizzyweed. We used to have something like it back on Earth. It makes you feel relaxed and silly, kind of like black tea, but without the buzz. We're going to study it together. He looks at the sample. I'm pretty sure we can find a medicinal use for it. Wait, I thought this was cows. Your dad laughs. Where do you think I got the term dizzyweed from? He and I are in cahoots. Did you guys try it? No. Dad chuckles. Well, you can if you want. It's safe, even for teens. Well, just don't go too overboard with it, or you might end up like your old man. He curls his hand like he's doing a scary impression of a monster. Doing what you love on an alien planet with a great kid! Your dad smiles. Okay, take a look at the sample and let me know what you find. Oh. Ask your dad how to use it? I mean, correctly assume your dad would be cool with you getting some hands-on experience with dizzyweed. He explains how to chew the stem to ingest the funky tasting juices and wants you to spit them out after else or it'll make you feel queasy. You do as he says, and within a few minutes you feel a head rush that makes you so dizzy you need to lay your head down on the research bench, hence the name, you guess. Dad chuckles and rubs your back. Don't worry, this part is over fast, he says soothingly. Ooh! You relax and let the dizzyweed take you wherever it's gonna go. The dizziness does wear off within a few minutes, leaving you feeling pleasantly floaty? Whoa, yeah, this is nice. Like everything is just a little softer, radiating gentle patterns when you turn your head. Your dad likes to chatter as he works, and you find yourself giggling at him more often. He's so funny and so nice. It's really cool that he's so cool with showing you this. You have a cool dad. Cool. After a while, the high wears off and you feel a little more corporeal. While he was circumnavigating the wormhole, Congruence helpfully crunched a few numbers and provides you with a report on the plant's chemical composition. What do you think? Does this have medicinal purposes? Yeah, it says so right here. Congruence's report indicates that dizzyweed is more than just a fun diversion with some painkilling properties. At high enough concentration, it can actually fight off bacterial infection. Neat! Your dad is proud of your work in the field of pharmaceutical science. He floats you a few kudos and warns you definitely not to ingest the concentrate. Okay. Ooh. Hang on. There we go. And this should get me... Yeah, there we go! No! I'm 1 away! Damn it! That was biology, not organizing. Damn it! I need one more organization. I'm worried about the colony's defenses, though. Hi, Mars. Just think I make a better governor, she sighs, instead of the space head with a gun who thinks he knows what's best for the colony. Yeah. Oh, oh, oh! Mars and Nomia bent over one of Nomi's sketchbooks. Mars is talking animatedly with expansive hand gestures. Nomi is nodding along and taking notes. No, 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 Mars exclaims. This neckline needs to be bolder lines, and down here, lots and lots of extra fabric. And to make this part gold, I wanted to scream I don't have to work like everyone else. I'm only here to look beautiful and have people adore me. But we do have to work, Nomi pouts. Nanoprinting's restricted for these kinds of materials. It costs kudos. Mars rolls her eyes. That's the point. Nomi huffs. Not everyone's got as many kudos as you, Marzipan, especially as Helios. We didn't have any at all when we landed. If I want to wear something other than uniforms, I usually trade on mod old clothes instead of printing new ones. Mars looks appalled. You trade clothes? You don't even sell them to each other for kudos? Mars, you're a capitalist. Nomi shrugs and tucks their hair behind their ear. It's just some kids can't afford to print this kind of clothing, right? So you're losing out on them as potential customers. So maybe instead you could design clothes that are pretty, but also made from common materials, so everyone can have them? Nomi smiles brightly. Then maybe when you're in charge, you can get rid of kudos entirely. It doesn't seem right that we have to trade kudos for extra stuff when we're all supposed to have what we need anyway. Nomi packs up the sketchbook and leaves, and Mars turns to you with a thoughtful look. Oh, Nomi doesn't know that I was the one who started selling things for kudos in the first place. My dad keeps saying I shouldn't do that because hoarding kudos and treating them like currency will cause, she makes quotation marks with her fingers, wealth inequality. Do you think right? Nomi's right. The Helios are broke. Oh, Mars says, tapping her chin. I mean, I knew the Helios were tragic, but I thought they just had terrible taste, you know? The uniforms and the haircuts. I didn't know it was because they were poor. Mars? Okay, I'm coming back on Mars. She was bullying Dis when we were kids, and that wasn't cool, but Mars is kind of funny now. I really don't think that kudos make everything unequal, Mars continues. Like, you can always work harder if you want something nice, right? That's what I do. Mars looks genuinely troubled. It's great that we have everything we need, well, as long as it's not a weird disease or famine or whatever, but we're still poor, you know? She sighs. We're poor in culture. Like, yes, every colonist has a streaming pile of mashed trippet every morning, noon and night, but what if I want to watch a holovid I haven't seen a million cajillion times? Mars puts her hands on her head. When we only focus on survival, who's making the holovids and symphonies and the gourmet food? She throws her arms in the air and shouts, we have everything we need, but we're poor. Poor people don't care about art. Mars snaps her fingers. No, I've got it. I'm a genius. If the adults won't incentivize the creative class, we need to do it ourselves. We need to get the adults on board with adopting kudos and using it to pay for luxury goods instead of slaving away in the depot or kitchen like people like Nomi could be artisans. She grabs you by the shoulders. If we have an actual creative class, maybe we can get some culture on this stupid rock. I can't believe I never thought of it before, she says, clearly possessed with a beautiful vision. I'm the richest teenager in the colony, but what good is it if there's nothing I can buy? Here I am, sitting on more kudos than I could ever use, and I could have been using it to kickstart the creative economy. I could be a patron of the arts! Mars is incredible. Mars releases you and pulls up the finances screen of her holopalm. You clutch a glimpse of her balance, which is more kudos than you've ever made in a year at least. Yes, good, Mars says, thinking aloud. More than enough to start. She looks at you. Well, Nomia, she says imperiously, you'll draw me, right? Let's give away some kudos. Sure, take 100 kudos. Mars' eyes go wide as she sees 100 kudos land in her account. Ooh, daddy, she laughs, fixing you with a wicked smile. I didn't know you're so generous. It's more where that came from, baby. Mars throws her head back and laughs, delighted that you played along. Oh, aren't you fun, she says. Okay, yeah, Mars is good again. Anyway, I'm nearly maxed out in engineering, so let's go do something about that. How's Tang doing? Yeah, she's still talking about that. Okay, medbay's still out. Repair robots. Let's repair robots. Nomi is assigned to work with you in the robotics lab this month. At first you're happy for the help, but it quickly becomes clear that they're more interested in unreasonable fantasies like building a giant robot to defend the colony. I saw it in an anime, they chatter, as you show them how to ground yourself before working with sensitive electronics. It's totally cool, we just have to... Perhaps it's better to master the basics first, Nomination. Congruences pushes in smoothly. For example, there is a vacuum bot awaiting repairs to its intake and output valves. You know without looking, it's Tango! Yeah! Your problematic little buddy is sitting in the first bay. You pull out the work requisition on your holopalm. Looks like their reports has been spewing dirt out instead of vacuuming it up. Typical. Not to worry, little buddy, Nomi says excitedly. We'll fix you right up and get you on your way again. They peer into its senses. Maybe with a few upgrades? If it's blowing out dirt, maybe it doesn't want to be a vacuum bot anymore. We can make it a gardening bot. The domestic bots were designed to be adaptable, with modular parts that can be swapped between units if they're needed for other purposes, or to combine ones that break down beyond repair. Nomi's right. Maybe it doesn't want to be a vacuum bot anymore. You help Nomi fit it with a water tank instead of a vacuum bag, and get congruence to swap its software for a gardening module. Now it'll be able to do some basic chores around the greenhouses. Nomi watches the bot toddle off with an inscrutable expression. That was a happy ending, they proclaim, twirling a lock of their pink hair around their finger. It's nice that even a bot can try a few things before figuring out what it wants to be when it grows up. That's cute. First collectible use is free. Okay. If I do this, do I have a... No, I don't. There we go. Ooh, super goal even. Let's go. I maxed out engineering. Let's go. Maxed out engineering. Early wet. New perk. Extra glia slot. Let's go. Thank you for the pugs. I think probably some medallion, right? That just gives you a flat +5. What game is this? It's I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. It's a great game. You should play it. It's sick as fuck. Okay. Honestly, it's early wet. That's Mars's birthday, isn't it? It is. Honestly, I have enough for it. And Mars has been chill lately. Actually, I have a lot of crystal clusters, so I won't bother. You know what? Happy birthday, Mars. You've been chill lately. The crystal is pretty fabulous. I'll add it to my collection. You're doing great, Mars. Good work. 69, nice. Okay. How to fuck with the colony defenses? Maybe in construction. That's engineering and toughness. I could use some toughness. Organizing persuasion. That I could also use that. Overseer's deal. Oh, bring the overseer's deal to Governor Lum. Oh. Governor Lum is staring into the space, but snaps out of it as you enter the room. What is a colonist? Tell him about the overseer's offer. Lum rolls his eyes. Oh, I didn't even... Governor Lum is staring into space, but snaps out of it as you enter the room. What is it, colonist? Lum rolls his eyes. Nomia, buddy, there is no sentient life on Vtuber. We are it. Whatever you've seen out there, it's not like us. We're the rightful rulers of this planet, he continues. I'm not gonna let some old garbage computer program stand between us and our destiny. He clenches his fist. We'll find a way to destroy them. They're more dangerous than you think. Never doubt humanity's strength, Nomia, he grins coldly. It's a good thing I'm governor of the colony, not some coward like one of you Stratos. He dismisses it, but he might have a point. Disposing of him as governor would solve a lot of problems. You know Mars would be on board. What to do? I feel like I want to report to the overseer if I can about what Lum said and see if I can get any assistance from them, maybe? It says Mars would be on board. There's no dialogue option with Mars yet, so I could spend some time in the depot and see if that strikes up a thing. I need organization anyway because I want to get the final thing with my mother. Let's do that. Working with Mars when a depot order comes in through your hollow palm for 10 batteries for the creche. You're busy packaging up another order, but you send it over to her hollow palm. Despite her constant complaining about how boring and beneath her this job is, Mars is very good at it. She finds ways to do things faster and more efficiently, and she hardly ever makes mistakes. Which is why you're surprised when you get the order for the nanoprinter and find 15 batteries. You check the requisition again. Wait, it says 15 batteries now? You swear it said 10 before. Mars scoops up the extra 5, giving you a wink as she hides them in her bag. She won't care if I confront her. She's shameless. Oh, don't be a buzzkill, Nomia, she says, rolling her eyes. Even Zeke skims a little off the top. Why else would they keep such tight control over the nanoprinter? What are you gonna do? Tell Lum, she adds. If you do, Zeke will be on my side, because they know I'll sell them out too. It'll be your word against both of ours. Besides, it's not even for me. It's actually for the SFC, which is a secret, so not like I can send actual requisition for stuff. Feel for yourself. Oh, I could just get the emoji proji through that? I'll help her out. I don't give a shit. Mars' deception was pretty good. You only caught it because you happened to see the requisition first, and you happened to put it back in the queue for Mars to pick up, and you happened to be the one who packed it up. You work with Mars to set it so the first person to open a requisition must complete it themselves. Believing you're doing it to increase reliability, Zeke approves of this change. It's a little more work, but it means that Mars is free to edit requisitions to her heart's content. Mars is so pleased with your work, she gives you a kiss on the cheek. I wouldn't mind getting rebelling up. Could help. Okay. Okay. Oh, nice. Win. This one organizing. 5 organizing. There we go. Oh, and I even got a perk. Nice. Ooh, and Mars's talkable. Mid-wet. New perk. Draw an extra card at the start of challenge. Ooh, hoo hoo hoo. Find Mars frowning over a textbook on her hollow. She flips through the pages with growing disgust until finally she gestures angriously to dismiss the screen and drags her hand down his face. Ugh, she exclaims. People totally suck. You slide into the seat next to Mars and she sighs. I told my dads about my plan to get the adults to adopt Kudos as a way to encourage the arts, and then they got really weird about it. Like, they think it's a good idea, but then they told me I should read up about Earth's history. So I did, and you know what I found out? People suck! The whole reason we left Earth was because trading money for stuff was a bad idea. It made a few people rich and everyone else poor, and it destroyed all the culture, and people fought and killed over it. By the time our parents left Earth, almost everyone worked super hard and was super poor, while like 100 people barely worked at all and owned private spacecraft. That's so dumb. The colony is the closest humans have come to income equality in thousands of years, but we don't have any passion. And Earth's history is full of people with passion who ended up turning into supervillains while everyone else starves, Mars says, crossing her arms. Is that all we're capable of? Really? She looks at you intently and puts her hands over her heart. I'm a passionate person, Nomia, she says. Is that being a Is being a despot all I'm capable of? She's not gonna get mad at criticism. She's shameless. You're gonna have to work at it. Mars nods with a conviction. You're right, Nomia. I am glad I can always count on you to remind me to be better. There has to be a middle ground between austerity and inequality, Mars continues. I don't want to have everything while everyone else has nothing. Like, yes, obviously I want to colonize the stupid rock, Mars continues. I want massive cities and glass skyscrapers and flying cars. I want to have to not fight off all the aliens every year. I want to pave all these skunky pollen trees and kill the stupid bugs. I want air conditioning. I just want everyone to have everything, even with the stuff that adults think doesn't matter. We can't live like animals because of the boogeyman of our past. One day I'm going to be running this place, Mars says. Just you wait, Nomia. I'm not going to let us fall into the same patterns we did on Earth. We have to take care of each other and master this planet, but we also can't forget what makes life worth living. Luxury. What do you think, Nomia? Mars asked. Do you think I'm on the right track? I think capitalism is good, actually. I think, how do we avoid past mistakes? Well, I mean, Mars starts, then furrows her brow in thought. I mean, I guess I thought because we're already starting out equal, people would just be better. She frowns. You're right. Doesn't seem like it seems like wishful thinking, doesn't it? At least I have you to bring me back to Earth. I mean, Vatumna. Mars smiles and claps her shoulder. Thank you, Nomia. You always think of things I don't. I really appreciate that about you. Yeah, Mars has grown up. She's still kind of crazy. But she's better. Mom blinks at you like she hasn't seen you in a while. Wow, you're getting big, she mutters, shaking her head in disbelief. Tell her what you learned today. I don't know if this doesn't really do anything for the gameplay, I just wanted to do it. You tell her about the bed bug infestation you've been helping Mars with on the down low because Mars doesn't want anyone to know she has bugs. Over time now, bed bugs are as large as your toe and can burp up acid. It sucks. Ugh. You had to pull out everything from her room and take it to the laundry or incineration, and then get in there and scrub down every corner of her room while Mars squealed every time she saw a bug. It was a whole day clean, but by the end Mars's room was sparkling and everything was put back even better than it had been before. Good job, kiddo, your mum says. I remember bed bugs back on Earth. Never thought I'd miss them. Vitamna has it way worse. There. Listen, I just wanted to have that little exchange with my mother, okay? Okay. I think maybe I want to report to Sim if I can. Give something to Cal. I feel like my friendship with Cal isn't... It feels like a lost cause at this point. I mean, I'm friendly with Cal, but I'm not like trying to befriend him, you know? Did I equip? I did equip another thing. Yes, I did. Come on, hop to it. Did I pass an exclamation point? Wait. Exclamation point right there? There was! There was! Thank you, Dallas. You're trekking through the wilderness when you hear voices. No, wait, one voice. Sim? Sim looks down at you from the gnarled bough of a great tree. Nomia calls out and slips gracefully down to the ground beside you. It's good to see you. Dis and I were just talking about you. You look around and Dis is nowhere to be seen. Sim smiles and lays his hand on the bark of the tree. My apologies. I did say you would not recognize them. This tree is Dis? Well, more or less, Sim replies. Insomuch as Dis is anywhere at the moment, his consciousness is enmeshed in that of this tree. He's not the tree per se, but rather... He pauses and tilts his head with a condescending laugh. Well, you know, it's quite complicated to explain to someone whose experiences are all predicated on being one single organic being. Do not take it personally. Sim looks up at the canopy overhead, his face alight with wonder. His metamorphosis is complete, but his existence as a gardener has only begun, he says. In what ways will he change who we are? I'm excited to find out. I have not been excited in quite some time. Is he happy like this? Sim's calm smile quirks at the edges. Happiness is a human emotion, he says. Dis's purpose is fulfilled by this role, and he wants for nothing. I think that is as close to happiness as a human could hope for. I want to say goodbye. You approach the tree and lay your hands on it. Like everything on this planet, it is warm and vibrant to the touch, humming with a sort of vital, potential energy. It's hard to explain why, but you know instantly that you do not need words to convey the depth of your feelings to Dis. Just knowing that he is nearby in some form, you feel a sense of calm wash over you. In his own way, Dis is finally at peace. In time, you'll return to the planet and rejoin with Dis on the other side. Until then, you can carry the memory of this perfect moment. Is Dis still my boyfriend? It's kind of. It still says I'm dating him. My boyfriend's a tree. How did I end up like this? My boyfriend's a tree now. Is Sim here? Yeah, he is. You're trekking through the wilderness when something catches your eye. To anyone else, it would simply be a weird depression between two roots, but it pings something in your memory. Isn't this what the entrance to the Overseer's Cave looks like? You decide to check it out. The hunch is correct. The depression opens up into a passageway just big enough to wiggle your body through, then widens even more to reveal a familiar door. You quietly push it open. The room you enter is not unlike the one where you interfaced with the array. There's a vat in the corner emitting a soft organic glow, and another computer panel slowly being reclaimed by the rock wall. It's not hard to assume the planet is lousy with rooms just like this one, where Sim and the other gardeners can rest and respawn if needed. This one, however, is not empty. You enter to find Sim, who is, aptly so, as naked as the day he was born. He's stepping out of the regeneration vat, clad in only strands of bioluminescent goo that slide down his long limbs and patter to the ground. Sim's back is to you, treating you to a glimpse of skin, usually hidden under layers of tattered dark fabric. Knobs of his spine and shoulder blades visible under his inhuman musculature. He looks unusually delicate and vulnerable. He reaches up and gently wrings out his thick hair, humming a song you recognize from the Hollow Archives. As if sensing the weight of your gaze on his body, he pauses and turns his head. Nomia, he says softly. I didn't see you come in. I can't flirt with Simp. My boyfriend just became a tree. Sorry to bother you. It's no bother, Sim replies, looking down at himself. If it does not bother you. Now that you know the truth about the gardeners, Sim continues, we can be far more free with our words, he gestures to the regeneration vat. I have very few secrets from you now. You can come take a closer look if you'd like. After he clarifies, a closer look at the vat, I mean. You walk over and check out the vat. The air gets noticeably warmer the closer you get, like sunlight on your face, and there's a faint organic smell that's not unpleasant. The vat itself looks like something you'd find in engineering, but seems to be constructed entirely out of natural materials. Spongy-looking fungal growths, mineral deposits, and pulsating vine-like umbilicals. You can touch it, Sim says. It's not dangerous. You sit on the lip of the vat and run your fingertips across the surface of the glowing liquid. A slight electrical charge prickles up your forearms, and you feel the friction of a link to the array. Sim sits down beside you, now fully dressed. His fingers are light on the surface of the liquid as well, and you feel a slight presence at the end of your mind, like a thought you can't reach. I'm glad we can talk freely now, he says. Is there anything you wish to know about me or the gardeners? Tell me more about the gardeners. Sim sighs. Compared to the gardeners, humanity is short-sighted. You're often unable to conceptualize present or future beyond your own lives or those of your direct descendants. Gardeners think on a much larger scale. I once spent 400 years as a mush tree just to avoid talking to gardeners whose methods I disagreed with. He smiles. Juvenile, I know, but when your memory spans tens of thousands of years, 400 years is trivial, and has given me a true appreciation for all life, one that goes deeper than I can describe. When I tell you that gardeners are vtuber, I mean it quite literally. How many gardeners are there? Sim thinks for a few seconds. It's hard to say, he answers. There are theoretically an infinite number of instances of the software that comprises a gardener. It's not uncommon for there to be for a particular instance such as myself to go dormant, possibly for thousands of years. He stretches out his fingers and looks at them, then at you. And many gardeners, such as the Overseer, find they do not need to take physical form at all. There are only a handful like myself who do. Do you like being gardener? Does the wind like being wind? Sim answers. I'm sorry to be cryptic after I told you I would not, but there really is no way to answer that question. I am what I was created to be, he continues. There is beauty in that, and a clarity of purpose that makes me feel fulfilled. I do not experience the existential angst like a human does. What should we humans do? If I knew the answer, I would tell you, Sim replies, placing his hand on top of yours. Pragmatically, I do agree with the other gardeners, he continues. If our purpose is to protect the biosphere of Vtumna, and humanity poses a threat to that, then by the letter of our own design, humanity must be eradicated. However, he sighs and looks away. I love humanity. I think you are all an incredible species, and it would be a shame to destroy you. I feel like doing so would be a violation of the spirit of the Convergent Domain's last decree. And perhaps, he murmurs, redeeming you will be the greatest act of love we can perform in the name of our imperfect creators. Dying and be reborn. What's that like? Reborn isn't the right word, Sim answers. It's more like reopening a program after a system crash. Everything is still there, perfectly preserved, except for whatever I added since the last time I saved my work. Functionally, it feels more like teleportation. As for dying, Sim continues, frowning a little as he considers the thought. Well, I'm certain that dying can be extremely painful. Depends on the death, I assume. He touches his chest. I have no memory of the moment of death, though. I have no memory of the moment of death, though I've died many, many times, he says. In that we are the same. How old are you? That question has many answers, Sim replies with a slight smile. This consciousness has ultimately been in existence for over 20,000 years, since the creation of the gardeners, but that means very little. I certainly don't have 20,000 years experience as a bipedal anthropomorphic organic capable of speech. And this body, he says, gesturing to himself, it is only minutes old. Sim nods. Please know that you can come to me at any time and I'll do my best to answer. Ugh! He's just asking normal questions. However, I must apologize for something, Sim says abruptly. I simply must. May I touch you? At your questioning look, Sim blushes and turns his head away. This body is new, he murmurs, and all of its senses are heightened. I confess I find myself unable to stop myself from wondering what it would be like to touch another while I am vulnerable to sensation like this. I'm not flirting. My boyfriend just became a tree. We're not flirting with Sim. We can hold hands, maybe. Sim looks delighted as he reaches out and pets your hair, running his fingers through the fine strands. Marvelous, he says. Truly a texture I've not been able to replicate in my own bodies. He runs a thumb over your eyebrows, then your cheekbone. His fingers dance down the bridge of your nose, then lightly into the dip of your philtrum, across your lips to pause on your chin. Sim's gaze drops to your mouth as his own lips part with an unspoken question. I mean, I'm still dating him, I guess. It says in this that I'm dating. We're dating. My boyfriend's a tree. I can't help it. What am I supposed to do? I mean, if there was anyone Dis would want me to... We should have talked about this beforehand. I should have talked... Before Dis went into the goo, I should have asked him if he would... I should have asked him. I mean, it's not like I can flirt. I'm dating someone, I think. Sim's eyes narrow in thought. Yes, that is a concern for certain humans, isn't it? He murmurs. I was not aware you felt the same. My apologies. I mean, I am polyamorous, but I didn't talk with Dis, and now he's a tree, so I can't really ask. So, I'm sorry. I'd like to go outside, he announces. Have you ever swam in the lake nearby? It's incredible, especially when my senses are heightened. I love the feel of sun and water on my skin. He smiles down at you. You're welcome to join me if you like. Jesus Christ. Okay. Help me calm down. I was not able to do the thingy. Llama's being weird. Also, there's construction or demolition happening outside. I hope you can't hear it. But it's going crazy out there. The thumper's here. This is just that. Is there anything else I can do? I would love to be able to talk to Dis and ask him, hey, if I kiss Sim, is that weird? I mean, all gardeners are like the same programming, right? Kind of. I don't even know if Dis has feelings for me anymore now he's a gardener. He doesn't experience happiness anymore, apparently. No, it's gonna... Listen. I'm in a video game. So, it's not as weird. But in real life, if this situation happened to me, if my boyfriend turned into a tree, I think I would need, like, a couple years before I started kissing again, you know? I would need some time. Like, I am polyamorous, but I still need some time. I would need some time to consider. I need some time to consider. Maybe my next playthrough, I'll kiss Sim. Like everyone wants me to do. Let's go home. Okay, late wet. It's Tang's birthday. Fuck it, let's get Tang a birthday cake. Fuck it. Fuck it, you know? Get Tang cake. She deserves it. It's thought that counts. Ooh! Ooh! Find Tang puzzling over a large hollow screen, making notes on her hollow eye and frowning over them. As he approaches, gestures to wipe the hollow screen clean and start again. Ugh, she sighs, taking a break to rub her temples. Okay, Tang, come on, think. You come up beside her and she startles. Oh, Nomia, hello, she says. I'm in the middle of running simulations on genetic diversity over the next few generations. You're welcome to see it. It'll affect all of us, most likely. Tang pulls up the next genogram simulation, a family tree encompassing all the people in the colony, their familial relations and genetic conditions. She scrutinizes it with a frown. We have an unusually high amount of hereditary heart disease, no matter how you slice it, she mutters. Luck of the draw. We've lost quite a bit more genetic diversity than the original geneticists of the vtuber project anticipated. That's not even counting those unwilling or unable to reproduce. She crosses her arms. It's possible to steer the ship out of it, so to speak, but it will take some purposeful breeding choices, at least 5 to 6 generations. May I verify your data? Tang gives you a curt smile and angles the color screen towards you. It sounds crude, she admits, but the colony will need to accept a certain level of oversight in this matter if we intend to survive, genetically speaking. Artificial insemination of material from Earth donors, even in love matches, for example. You stare at the genogram until your eyes cross and shake your head. Tang laughs. It's terrifyingly complex, isn't it? She says. Imagine, this process happens all the time naturally. Why, any sweating beast can squirt a child into the dirt. It's just proteins and bad luck, but the universal is this. Wow. Sounds a little eugenicsy. Oh no, hang on. She waves her hand at the massive chart. It's beautiful in a way. On a long enough timescale, we can predict the genetic drift of a species. In the face of that, what do family bonds matter? Tang laughs bitterly. It's not if sharing genes with someone guarantees you'll be a strong family unit. Does anyone really like their parents? I mean, it does sound a little eugenicsy, but honestly, eugenics comes when it's forced. If it's like, hey, we're surviving on a colony, we've only got a certain amount of genetic diversity, we probably should consider it when having children. Like, that makes sense, honestly. Eugenics is when you're trying to forcibly... Let's not get into eugenics talk today. I do. I like my parents. You tell Tang that you do, in fact, love both your parents, and she rolls her eyes. As for my own family, Tang continues, I feel no allegiance to any of them based on blood. If I had no family at all, that would be acceptable. What about this? Ugh, Tang. I'm ashamed we're even related. Literally all he does is go on expeditions and talk to trees. Who even knows where he is right now? I know where he is. Don't you miss your mother? You mean the depressed drunk who died when I was a kid? Tang retorts. No, not at all. If it wasn't for Chief Steward Anne, I probably wouldn't still be alive. Do you want kids someday? Tang looks thoughtfully at the genogram. Truthfully, I'm not entirely certain I can bear children. There must be limits to my gene-engineered body. I certainly didn't experience puberty to the extent that Mars did, for example. Besides, Tang continues, children would only distract me from my work. The chief engineer never had children after all. I think that's admirable. Tang's gaze flicks over to where Chief Engineer Instance is talking to one of the lab assistants. In some ways, I'm the child she never had, and she is the mother I wished I did have. We became close when we started my gender affirmation process, she continues. It was so obvious then that we were kindred spirits. As I would come in for checkups and observation, we'd talk about the science behind the process. Of course, I showed an interest in it. Instant fostered that in me. She supported me. Tang looks down at the ground, unlike my own mother, who by that point had ceased to find joy in almost anything. What would I be without Instance, Tang says. The only things I have in life are what she gave me. Not just this body, but my passion, my hard work, my achievements. Without her, I would have nothing. I owe her everything. She sounds really important to you. Tang smiles. She is, she replies, more than anyone. Now if you excuse me, she says, turning back to the genotype before her, I have our legacy to plan. Okay. I don't want to do anything that uses up too much stress, because I feel like I'm going to need it. Honestly, should I relax and get rid of the last bit of stress I have? I don't think that'll help much. I'll probably be sneaking out next month, for sure. I'll give Cal an egg. Cal, do you want an egg? Egg? There you go. Egg. I don't want to use out too much stress. I feel like the one thing I can do is just check on the ridge again. That's probably all I can do. And just save my stress. One last time. Let's go find Hi, buds. Hi, Hoptuit. Hoptuit's been with us for so long. I love him. My little guy. Hoptuit, you're the perfect creature. You've never done anything wrong. Ooh, no, ... Dr. Sim. Can you help me calm down? Okay. Purchase something. Give him a crystal cluster. Any exclamation points? Honestly, I might look at the thumper. Doesn't look like there's much. Look at the thumper, why not? Okay. Check it out, why not? Okay. Okay. Try this. Ba-ba-ba. Six. Okay, and then I just need 7. Fantastic. Oh wait, I could do this, and then I do this. And then I do this and this. Fantastic. I won really hard at that one. Find more scraps of convergent domain writing and technology, document everything and bring it back to Utopia. Yeah, I don't want to use up too much stress. I'm gonna look around for, I'm gonna take one look around for any exclamation points and then I'm gonna leave. This might be a waste of a month because I couldn't, there's no exclamation points with Sim or anything. But it's what I did and it's my choice and I'm gonna stick with it. Oop. More strange device. Just phase through some crystals. Okay, go around to the other side. I'm just thinking back to when I first started this area and I had literally no idea where I was going ever, and now I kind of know my way around the place. Isn't that wild? Progression in video games. The fact that these places are kind of maze-like, but they're the same maze every time, so every time you come back you feel more and more competent. Genuinely good game design. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. Okay, this is the start. I kind of want to keep my stress under 50. I could maybe do one event. Let's do this one. Curious Natural Land Bridge. Birth very sidely. Very carefully. Travel across it slowly. Okay, let's head home. Alright. And here we go. Glow. Let's look around. See if there's anyone here. Is there any way I can talk to Lam? Nope. Talk to Cal. No new plans could be like this. Give you a flower. Mother? Don't want you too far away from the colony if you're attacked again this year. Gooseberry. Even the planet, heck, maybe the wormhole. Sorry, I'm not reading these out. Finally acceptable season, Tang says, looking relaxed for the first time all year. Not too bright, not too warm. If only it was like this all year round. Give her a flower. Hope you find it useful. She adds almost as an afterthought. Okay. One more crystal. Hey guys. If you always knew the attacks were coming during glow, why weren't you Stratus more better prepared? That's just common sense. Shut up. Hey Nem. Standing with a few other soldiers, she nods at you as you approach. Here you go. I'm starving. I'm gonna get to kitchen, cook this up right away. Something for you, Nem. Okay. Sneak out to explore. Okay, here we go. There's Sim. It's down there. Okay, gonna have to go up the little side area. Kind of up here. Oh no, it's not back there. It's past this. I always think it's up there, but it's never there. Hey Sam. Shadows upon shadows move against each other in the glow, wavering under the gleaming of mush trees like ghosts. The forest is as still as a creature breathing its last breath. You know to look for Sim in the hollows of trees now. His eyes gleam in the permanent night. Hello again, Sugarbug, he chuckles. You're getting pretty good at navigating in the dark. Sim sets off through a darkened forest with ease, bidding you to follow. Have you come to ask me more questions? Is Noctilucent the one attacking us? Sim smiles and looks off into the distance. Ah, so you've met. My condolences. Their views are difficult to hold within myself, though I understand them implicitly. Noctilucent is responsible for invasive species management, Sim adds. So yes, repelling you falls under their domain. The most obvious method, as you've noticed, is the yearly attacks, though there are other, more subtle methods to discourage growth. Plague and famine, for example. It doesn't need to be this way, he sighs. Sim stops walking and smiles politely. Well, that is enough for now. The trees have ears, you know. Keep. Climb up to the plateau ringed with gnarled trees. Take some photographs. Still nothing? There's a secret to this, but it leads to an ending? I want to see if I can figure it out. Let me explore a bit more. I had a vision of something. It was something about that area. That said, like, it was something about that area that I had visions of. Come to a dense part of the path where the gnarlwood surrounds you and blocks out the sky and the wormhole above. Long threads that look like hair hanging down from the trees. Strange, you've never seen this during the rest of the year. You have to go through these trees. Take a closer look. The strands are sticky, like a spider's web. So sticky and thick, in fact, that you better be caught if you try to push your way through it. Better not then. Is there an event up here? There was. It's dotted with huge circles of glowing mushrooms, each nearly a meter in diameter. The bare grass in the center of the circles looks remarkably lush. Take a closer look. Okay. You crouch down to analyze the mushrooms. It's a species you don't recognize, but your hollow palm reports that they live most of the year underground and only pop up during glow season. This close, you notice that the entire area in the circle is shrunken, and the grass has been flattened, almost like a footprint. But what would be big enough to make this? You decide not to wait around to find out. Am I gonna run out of... maybe I should have rested. Go through... I couldn't do that because of the combat. Amazed at how peaceful it is out here. Oh, okay. Not what you expected. You stay out of sight of the watchtowers and slip between the mush trees. It's really pretty out here. Gaze up at the wormhole. Which way you're walking? Damn it. Crane your head up. Let's look at the wormhole. It's so big you begin to feel dizzy and end up stumbling over a bit of a gnarled root. Still transfixed by the wormhole, it's dark against the dark sky, but it moves and shimmers with a million colors, turning in slow fluid motion around the perfectly black hole in the center. Wow. Though you can't see it, you've been told the wormhole high above is shining with ultraviolet light. They ever say what happened to Earth? It's still around, we just left. It's invisible to the human eye, but absorbed and re-emitted as visible light by the flora and fauna around you. Your holopalm causes a black light. 2, 1 out, time to continue. Damn it. Knowing the attack is coming, as it always comes and goes, it does nothing to calm your nerves. It's only so long you can take sheltering yourself in your quarters. As the month draws longer, you find yourself almost compulsively walking the walls when you're not working, scanning the tree line for the first sign of trouble. You're there when you see them, dark on dark shapes coming out of the forest, perfectly silent. You watch with the lookouts as more and more figures amass at the forest's edge. Minutes pass as the horde pushes into the firebreak, numbering at least, it must be in the thousands. More animals than you've ever seen in one place. The ground is choked with a teeming carpet of smaller creatures, darting in and out of the legs amongst... Oh no. The forest bends as a faceless emerges from the depths, followed by 2 more. The mood on the walls is discouraged. 1 faceless destroyed your colony. 2 faceless required an irresponsible number of explosives to take down. How are you supposed to be able to handle 3? It's even more. A familiar being cuts through the horde and stands at the front like a general leading their army. Gardeners must come in all shapes and sizes, but you note this one from the hatred in their eyes. It's Noctilucent. Noctilucent stepped forwards. For millennia, I've been tasked with keeping this planet safe from invasive species. Extreme weather, plague, famine, the migration of predators, all tactics I have used to ensure an invasive species cannot find a foothold where they do not belong. The command of the human language has vastly improved since you saw them last. The gardeners learned quickly. Controlling you by indirect means has proven ineffective, they say, glaring at the row of horrified colonists atop the walls. I can no longer ignore the destruction that you have caused and the threat you represent to the planetary ecosystem. However... Sim steps out of the tree line and stands beside Noctilucent. His eyes find yours unerringly across the firebreak. Some gardeners argue that you have the capacity for reason, Noctilucent continues, so I have come to offer you an alternative, your unconditional surrender. Noctilucent smiles up at you. Surrender is the correct word, is it not? Something your singular violent brains can't understand. No, the terms are simple. Humanity will cease reproduction, cease expansion, and in return be allowed to live out your remaining lifespans within the bounds of your walls. Do you accept? I'm gonna tell you, Lum steps forward. I'm gonna tell you the same thing I told you, a little double agent spy, his voice booms out from the walls. You and your bullshit deal can bugger off, and keep buggering off until you've buggered off so much you can't bugger off any farther. He points at Noctilucent. Then bugger off some more. This planet belongs to us humans now. It's hard to tell, but you think Noctilucent looks amused. Maybe they were hoping this would be your answer, and of course Lum speaking for the colony, it was inevitable. So be it, they reply, and the attack begins. I'm not gonna fight them. Flee. Duck your head and watch towards the safety of the quarters. As you run, you notice the colony's defenses are mediocre. As you run, you notice that the colony seems to be holding its own. Nothing has breached the walls yet, and it seems that the tide of monsters emerging from the trees has slowed. The colony looks evenly matched. The battle's not in the bag, but so long as the defenses hold, things look hopeful. You're descending from the walls when you are thrown to the ground by a tremendous rumble. A few meters in front of you, something tunnels toward you through the mud. You have the impression of something long and dark that cuts through the ground like a shark through water. You scramble to your feet, but it cuts off your path, forcing you towards a geoponics outbuilding. It's a storage shed, mostly empty besides bales of hay used as a float cowshed. It's dimly lit, but you think you see another door at the far end. The creature advances, throwing up rocks and chunks of dirt as it I'm avoiding it. You dive through the doorway, hoping that a tunneling creature couldn't follow. It stops on the threshold and pokes a long black snout out of the dirt, sniffing. You sniff it too. Is that smoke? You look up at the thatched roof and realize the building you're in is on fire. The dry thatched roof. Oh no. Quickly ignites and rains flaming debris down on your head, filling the room with toxic smoke. The ashy heat is intense. You can feel it ripping the moisture from your lungs with every breath. You rush for the rear door, but the fire moves so fast. You're trapped as a roof beam collapses in front of you. You hear a cracking noise then. Just pain, and a noise like a bell. The world goes dark. Oh, it's this scene. You wake to chaos, a confusion of light and heat and smoke. Fire. Your head is pounding. You must have hit it and blacked out, but you aren't sure how you got here or what of Autumna is happening. There's something important you need to remember. This is the scene from the beginning of the game. Your stomach lurches as the floor crumbles beneath your feet, then collapses. Your body aches as your eyes burn from the smoke, but your figure appears through the flames. It's your friend. Your friend? Wait, why can't you remember her name? She's gesturing and shouting at you, but all you hear is a ringing in your ears. Climb out. You try to stand up, but one of your legs falls loosely under you. It won't hold your weight. Your friend pulls you out of the rubble. She throws your arm over her shoulder and half drags you towards the door. Through it you see a deep, eerie twilight, dark blue and cold, against the heat of the fire around you. Glow season. Glowing eyes. You shake your head to clear vision. Is that some kind of dog? Like from Earth? Wait, hold on. You remember this from another life. Not a dog, a monster. It's about to end your life, and probably Nem's too. She tightens her grip as you. Don't fight it. You prepared for this earlier. Biology or animals? Remember this day for many years. The choking heat of the fire, the dog creature's dead yellow eyes haunting your dreams. You've prepared for it. Specifically, you've installed an armed freeze trap right where you knew the animal would be standing, transformed into a towering horror. As it does, you trigger the detonator. The trap sucks inward, drawing all heat from its surroundings. The monster's feet are frozen to the floor as it instantly crystallizes, becoming an ice statue. Nem doesn't stop to wonder how this happened. She gives the statue a solid kick and shatters into a million fragments. You emerge from the inferno of the shed, burned and concussed but alive. An enemy smiles. It's good to be alive. You have your wounds tended to in the med bay. Other soldiers are there in much worse shape, but at least the battle is over. It was long and bitter, resulting yet again in the destruction of most of the sawmills and arable land. The defenders managed to repel the Xenos before damage could be done to the inner colony, or maybe the monsters lost interest before finishing the job. It's as if the planet wants you to suffer, but doesn't actually intend you to finish you off, yet anyway. But for now, you're just happy you survived to live another day, and that day is your birthday. By the time you've recovered, the suns have returned. It's your 20th birthday. You're a fully fledged adult now, though in many ways you already were and have been for a long time. No! You and your friends step out to greet the new day and start the rest of your life on Autumna. That wasn't very satisfying. Botanist, we'll see the ending though. I felt anticlimactic, yeah, because I didn't do it. I didn't do what I needed to do. No end of species to discover in Autumna. In your lifetime, you discover over 13,000 different species of flora and fauna, and some that transcend that distinction too. You give them silly names. Snack Sniffer and Wonder Fungus, Double Scrundle, Grandmother, Gully Waiter, and the Tasseled Lumpkin. You discovered them, so you get to name them. Future generations will just have to deal with it. Congratulations, consider early pass. Thank you, Dallas! Wow! Thank you so much! Okay. You become chief cultivator when your mother retires. Well, she doesn't so much retire so much as get fed up with dealing with the council business and decide to focus on farming. Governance isn't your passion either. In your later years, you can still be found shirking your duties to go trumping about in the fields in search of some new variation of fungus. But what about... Dis visits you sometimes, in forms you recognize and in others you don't. As the years pass, he becomes less and less interested in interacting with humans. You're certain you'll last see him as an unusually fast-growing gnarlwood tree, but by that point it's almost impossible to tell. He can't communicate with you, but you just get this feeling. You wonder what he thinks about the ongoing conflict between humans and the gardeners. Does he attack the colony every year too? You guess you'll never know. Symbiosis, the bridge between two peoples. Undying, ever-aging, ever-patient Sim becomes as much a mystery to you as the rest of the planet. The colony continues to buckle under yearly attacks and unnatural disasters, but Sim never wavers in his passion to learn everything about humanity. Though he remains as cryptic as always, his affection for your species only deepens. In your grief and demoralizing fatigue, you sometimes turn to blaming Sim. Why can't he stop these attacks? Why can't he argue with the gardeners to leave humanity alone? He never holds it against you, no matter how cruel your words. Every time you calm down, he patiently reminds you that his dissenting voice is one of the only reasons humanity hasn't been destroyed outright. Meeting Sim in secret makes you feel horrible sometimes, like you're being torn apart in the middle of this war. You love your friend, but the war takes its toll on your friendship like it wears down the colony. You visit Sim as your job allows it, but over time you see him less. He doesn't need to come to your rescue anymore. You're an adult now and you know what's out there in the wilds. Eventually you stop seeing him at all. You think he might have taken another form. Maybe he's moved on from humans to study another animal, or maybe the gardeners have given up on understanding humans. The attacks only grow stronger every year. What about Chief Engineer Tangent has a knife ring to it. It always seemed like Tangent's life was laid out for her. Work hard, discover amazing things, and eventually replace Instance as Chief Engineer. However, after only a year on the council, Tangent surprises everyone by stepping down. At first, she's happy tinkering with her own research, passion projects that she'd put aside when she was working in the lab under Instance. Things of little interest to the colony. Gradually, though, you notice that something is wrong. Her quarters, once so pristine due to lack of use, are jammed full of experiments. She takes her meals in her room and often disappears from the laboratory for days at a time. Any polite questions about her independent research are met with either wild-eyed silence or an incomprehensible jumble of half-formed hypotheses and streams of consciousness. Even Instance finds her bizarre enthusiasm impenetrable. She spends more time alone with her experiments. People begin to worry. And then she just stops. Everything. Her experiments languishes. Tangent languishes. As her friend, you're allowed access to her inner sanctum, her quarters, now completely in disarray and reeking of rotten organics, where you find her still in bed more often than not. Sometimes she's sleeping, but more often she just lies there, trapped in a nightmarish waking state by her hypercharged metabolism. You hold her hand and talk about nothing, slowly uncovering her obsession with Dis's fate. Unable to see her pain, you tell her everything you know, that you saw Dis become one with the planet, and that he's happy with his chosen life as a gardener. It's hard for her to hear. She's angry at you for keeping this from her, but it's an important first step to accepting that her brother is gone for good. You're there to support her if she grieves her broken family, and when she's ready to return to the work in the laboratory. Her love life remains fairly private, though she's not as frigid as she always claimed. You hear from the colony gossips that she carries on with a string of casual relationships, mostly with other scientists, mostly women. Hell yeah. She donates genetic material to a number of children, but doesn't choose to raise any of her own. She's quite picky about their genetic enhancements, obsessing over any markers of anxiety and depression that run in her family. But ultimately, her children grow up healthy and in loving families far removed from Tang's own childhood. It's a bittersweet reminder for her. Tangent lives and dies in the shadow of what she almost caused to happen on Vatumna. Knowing that she almost killed every living thing on the planet weighs heavily on her for the rest of her days. Dis became the planet? Yeah, Dis became a tree. Unfortunately, even with her genetic alteration, the human body was not made to withstand long periods without sleep, and Tangent's willful negligence in taking care of herself doesn't help. She develops a heart condition in her early 60s that outpaces the healing capacity of the medbeds and eventually takes her life. Wow, chill! Your parents work hard every day to see their pioneer dreams come true. Feeding the colony is a massive job, but they tackle it together. Farming, ranching, analyzing native plants, trying to find a way for humanity to thrive on Autumna. Every year their work is hindered by the attacks that seem to target geoponics specifically, but they never give up. The strain ages them prematurely. Your mum dies of a heart attack, too young, and your dad limps forward another decade or so before it claims him too. They'll always be with you, in the ground you walk on, in the trees that give you shade, in the cycle of the life that sustains you. Your Hopeye is a good companion, but you're no replacement for its own species. When a herd of Hopeye roam close enough to the colony, you release it back into the wild. And a few years later, you're greeted one morning by a whole litter of Hopeye kittens outside your door, and hop to it, proudly showing off their family. In my later years, days turn to months, eventually becoming years, then decades. Before you know it, you're old. Life is tough but rewarding. Vatumna continues to challenge you and your loved ones. The attacks continue every year, getting harder and harder to withstand. And not just that, but droughts, earthquakes, diseases, storms, pestilence, and more. Some years you worry that the colony and humanity will be wiped off the map for good, but humans are good at surviving. The adversary strengthens your resolve. You mourn your dead, celebrate your births, and keep adapting to whatever the planet throws at you. This is your home, for better or worse. You do what you can to make it a good one. Eventually, death comes to you, as it does to everyone. In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle out one by one and shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. Is that a person? Oh! They seem so familiar. You feel like you know them so well. Oh, it's you, only ancient. Their arms are covered with so many data bands, so many lifetimes of knowledge. The ancient you speaks without moving their mouth, not in words but in something like pictures. Still you understand. They smile. We had a good life, don't you think? There's so many possibilities and this was only one of them. I could have done better. There was a girl, we were young together, Tammy, with the cotton candy hair. Such a shame to see a life snuffed out so young. They give you a look as if to say you were somehow responsible for this. Wait, were you? Could you have saved her? You have a chance to take another path, to change the way our life turned out. They reached out a hand. Come with me. Go with them. Oh! Start your new life! And all these amazing illustrators. Ah! All the credits! C418, wait. Isn't that the Minecraft guy? I am gonna go back to an old save file and see if I can do something. Oh, look at these artists. Look at all of them. Jesus Christ. Oh, they all did good. Onsta's there. Do I recognize anyone else? No, I think it's the only one I recognize. Didn't expect to see 4 with 18. Yeah. Finji Publishing. Thank you, everyone, for doing such a good job. You made a very good game. Start your new life. Hang on. Quiet 118. Fast memories in the safeguard folder. It's my actual folder. Pollen 219. That's too long ago. 80 friendship is the breakpoint for endings, I believe. I think so, yeah. I'm gonna try this. My stress is down. Is there anything I can do to relieve stress without taking time? I'm gonna try this again. Let's try just doing events. Filling out the mushroom cap tree traps. Undulates to the left and the right. A river luminous mist. I think I've done this one. Is it maybe that I have to do all the events in the glow? Because I've done that one, I'm pretty sure. I've done that one. Watch where you're walking. That's stress. Push through them. Okay, you hold your arm in front to brush the strands away and realize they are far stickier and far stronger than they look. You try to brush them off with your left arm and your right arm, and now you're really stuck. Looking up in horror, you see insectoid creatures emerging from their glowing gem-like nests in the crook of the tree's branches. Dozens of thin, glowing worms the length of your forearm uncurl and inch their way towards the top of the strands, trapping you, then start sucking them in. Inch by inch, you're hoisted up towards their hungry mouths. Play dead. Stay very still, trying to avoid getting any more tangled than you are. Maybe they'll just think you're a log or something. They keep cinching you up and up and up. The worms pull you right up into Treem's mushroom cap, sucking up the gooey liquid of the strands until their mouths are almost against you. Then one of the worms detaches, leans down and sniffs you. It takes a small nibble from your hand. Ouch! Okay. Then it recoils as if in disgust and cuts its strand. As all the others do at once, you fall to the soft grass below with a mighty whoomph. You're okay, but your backside's pretty bruised. Damn it! Gardener's where you could become a gardener. No Scum is where you could have gone to Lum instead. Manticores. Right! Lum's face was on a manticore. Lum's face was on a manticore. I don't think there's anything I can really do here. Because Lum's here. Yeah, I don't think there's much I can do. Bleh. I could go back to this one. There's a lot of stuff that I'd have to replay a bunch of it. Could have gone to Lum instead. There's a manticore. There was a manticore event here. Follow it. Something big and moving. Yeah, this one. Strange river light floating from something next plateau is heading east and trailing, going down some kind of spawn maybe behind it. You go down the ravine here and try to keep following it or safely cross under the eerie stream and continue where you're heading before. Okay. After a harrowing trip through a muddy ravine, you make it to the next plateau, only to find Sky River has dissipated. You can't find any sign of what made it. Oh well. There's... Can Sim calm me down? Okay. Have to loosen the one attacking us. Mind the glowflies. Oh? Explorations lead you steadily upward until you find yourself in a plateau overlooking the valley. The colony is with dark little smudge below, breaking the magnificent natural luminescence of glow. From here, the wormhole feels so close you could touch it. You're alone up here. Your heart leaps into your throat as you spot it, a silhouetted dark-on-dark tree under the eerie light of the wormhole. Stay to watch it. Atop this high plateau ringed by gnarled trees, the massive creature stands staring at the sky. As you watch mesmerized, some of its swaying tentacles open up and a glowing dust oozes from them, rising like smoke into the night. Then it's gone. Whole entire faceless just vanished in the blink of an eye, or did you imagine it? You rub your face, easing the sudden tension that has sprung up behind your eyeballs. Yeah, this is the plateau! Approach where it was standing. There are footsteps here, giant footsteps, each ringed with mushrooms, pushed up from the most soil by the weight of a beast. You gingerly realize you're standing in the middle of one. Faceless, if indeed one was standing here earlier, you could crush you as flat as the grass beneath your feet. You find other signs of it. Trees have been knocked down in a circular pattern here, and bushes and grasses have been pushed up into one big mound, leaving the rest of the plateau clear. You remember this place now from your visions. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. From long under the pyramid and the resting ridges, from long before that, you feel as if you've always known something important will happen here soon. Wait. You stare up at the wormhole, immense in the sky above, just as you remember doing your vision. You wait. You wait. You wait. You yawn and check your hollow palm. It's hard to keep track of time doing glow. Also, Hopeye is helping me out here. You still look up, but nothing has changed. The trees are still perfectly still. You wait. You wait. The wormhole seems especially huge right now. Is it always so big? You imagine you see whole galaxies in its slowly spinning arms, tiny flecks of rainbow light being sucked into the black hole in the center, but it's so much closer than a galaxy, so close it could swallow you and all of autumnite in its hungry ethereal maw. Wait. Wait. The forest seems to get quieter, as if it's expecting something. The wormhole swells as you stare and stare into its depths. It's been hours. It's now well past the middle of the night. You're exhausted, but you can't look away. You feel hypnotized. Damn, this Hopeye is really coming in clutch. I'm so glad. You've always been waiting. You always will be waiting, staring up at the wormhole and being sucked into its depths. A shadow falls over you. Look at the shadow. Hop to it is the MVP. Hop to it is crazy! Hop to it's going crazy right now! You slowly lower your gaze from where you've been staring at the wormhole for hours, your neck stiff and sore. Straight ahead of you, what you'd earlier thought was just the shadow of the tree is the faceless. It was there all along, watching you. It takes a heavy step forward, then another. It moves gently, its feet sinking into the soft ground and pushing up the phosphorescent fungi from below to explode the surface in rings of jubilant light. You don't move as it approaches. It took all your energy to look away from the wormhole, but you're still completely spellbound. The faceless looms over you, as big as a building. Its zippered neck gapes grotesquely, and its tentacles wave gently through the air, tasting it, smelling you. The ends of two tentacles open, and that strange glowing mist floats up from them. It leans down. It envelops you, in its tentacles, each as large as you are, and you breathe in its spores. Under the eternal night sky of the glow, the wormhole seems to swallow you both whole, and the entire planet, and an infinite number of universes besides. You feel a beckoning within you, a curious tug somewhere within your ribcage, a yearning you can't describe. Embrace it. The paradox, yet the transcended time ending! So this is how it all began. Transcended time! Holy shit! When you were very young, you had vivid dreams of things you'd never experienced. Dirt under your feet, skies overhead, endless jungles and strange animals. Now you know why. This moment of time, you on the plateau, drawing in the wild faceless's mind-altering spores and the pulsing wormhole above. This moment cascades backwards and forwards through all time and space throughout all of your lives. It's what binds you to those other lives and gives you glimpses of them in dreams. This moment, it's infinite. You are, in this moment, connected to all your other moments, what has been and what will be, what could be or what will never be. Some scraps slip through the web and touch all other you out there. You, all the you that could have been or could be, are forever changed. To your friends in the colony, it may appear that you've fallen into a coma from which you'll never wake, but your consciousness is free. In that infinite moment, you visit all lives and possibilities at once. You have transcended. In the moment of your death, as your brain cells fizzle out one by one and shut down forever, a vision swims in your mind's eye. Oh, it's this again. Look at you! I mean, at us! They shake their data bands with good humor. I suppose that explains how we got here, Then they frowned. Does get boring though, doesn't it? Knowing everything at once, I mean. I understand if you want to go back to the things how things were. They look over your shoulder into a distance you cannot see. Back when it was simple, when we only caught glimpses of the time web. Oh, to be a baby again, just a simple, naive child. I think this is what I was aiming for. I lived my best life. There was a girl, yep. Saved her. Come with me. There we go. That's the ending I wanted. I wanted to get the thing with the plateau. Ah! Endings gallery. Botanist. And transcended time. Oh my god, there's a bunch. Illustrations, lovely. Start your new life. There we go. Oh, okay, Dis is still here. Good, good, good. I was worried that I lost Dis for a second. But he did it! Yay! Ugh. And now just start again. No, I'm gonna do that in my free time. And Sim. Oh, Sim's here too! Yeah! There he is! Let's look at all we saw. An enemy grossed out. Dis's transformation. Oof. Music and stars. Faceless attack. SFC mystery solved. Sim pounced upon. Sim falling. Tang on the roof. That's what we got. We got botanist and transcended time. That's what I wanted. There are even areas I didn't go to. So many things I didn't get. So many cards I didn't get. Chivos. You see my Chivos? Scary. End of age 10. Helios Lane to the age 15. Sneak out to explore. Bit of a Tamnali event. Get the transcended time ending. Unlock this on the main menu. Unlock Sim on the main menu. Pet your pet. Ended the famine. Help Tangent cure the Shimmer disease. Meet Sim the gardener. Get 5 relationships to 5 hearts. And stop Tangent's engineered plague. Wah! That's the end of this series, I guess. I would play... Would people want to see me... The thing is that, like, I could do my second playthrough on stream, but I feel like I kind of just want to do it by myself. So, like, I would love to share it with you guys, but I kind of just want to go quiet and just do stuff and figure it out. I'd want to see more. That's great. If you want to see more, oh boy, I'm gonna tell Maxi to stream it. I'm gonna harass Maxi until they do it. I'm gonna hang on. Maxi sent me a message. Yes, Maxi said thanks so much for the heads up about. I warned them about the copyrighted music thing, which to me implies that they're gonna do it, and they better. I'm gonna harass them about it every day. But thank you so much for coming and sharing this game with me. It was a lovely game. I really like it. It's fantastic. Dallas, I think you recommended me to play this on the Pride stream on the June 31st. That was when we first tried it out. And it was very good, and I'm glad we went all the way through with it. It was lovely. Ugh. How do I end stream now? I'm empty as a person. My next stream is, in 3 days. It's in 3 days. It's on my Friday. Look at my schedule, okay? It says in the schedule that it's drawing, but it might be something else. It might be something else because my father has requested something, and I might have to do it. I'll keep it a secret until then. But thank you so much for joining me. Get this game. Do it, punk. Come on. You won't. You won't play this game yourself. Coward. You should do it. There's a demo. It's great. If you just want to try it out, just do it. Do it, bitch. I will see you on Friday. Thank you so much for coming. If you want to support me, you can like and subscribe. And if you want to support me extra hard, I have memberships and super chats that you can join. I also have a Ko-fi if you'd like to donate to me directly. I also have a Discord and a Tumblr that you can follow for updates and stuff. Thank you so much for joining me. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a comment telling me if you would have kissed Sim. If you were in the situation I was in, would you have kissed Sim? Cause like, my boyfriend was a tree. My boyfriend had just turned into a tree. If my boyfriend had turned into a tree like a couple years ago, maybe I would have kissed Sim. But it was too fresh. It was too fresh for me. But let me know. Would you kiss him? And if you could turn your boyfriend into any inanimate object, what would it be? Anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you soon. Otsunawa! Bye!